General's Daughter, a steamy psychological thriller. And Jean Shalit says it's a complex mystery with a solid cast. John Travolta gives an Oscar-caliber performance. The General's Daughter, rated R, now playing everywhere.
Dance with him.
Mom, I'm hungry.
Dance with your father.
I may not know any of your flash dances, but I'm no slouch on the dance floor.
All right. Oh, Jack.
Oh, Judy. Oh, Judy.
Matt Franco led the Mets with a big hit going into the All-Star break, and it has continued after. The strong defense, the good hitting, and some outstanding pitching, and the New York Mets are suddenly very close to the Atlanta Braves. Orel Hershiser has his 200th win, and for Bobby Valentine, it's thumbs up. The Mets will try and continue their winning ways against Sammy Sosa and the Chicago Cubs from Shea.
Mets baseball live on the WB11.
It's Merengue Night at Shea Stadium. Welcome, everybody, and lots of honors for Sammy Sosa. From Shea Stadium in Flushing, Queens, WB11 Sports presents New York Mets baseball. Tonight, the Mets take on the Chicago Cubs. Our starting pitchers for tonight's game, Kevin Tapani on the mound for the Chicago Cubs, and Masato Yoshii will be on the mound for the New York Mets. There you see the standings in the Eastern Division of the National League. All of a sudden, the Atlanta Braves are vulnerable. They are playing a doubleheader today. The New York Mets start the day just 2 games behind, and Philadelphia just 5.5 behind, and that's who Atlanta's playing. For the New York Mets, there's going to be a new addition come Sunday. He's a pitcher, and he's known in New York, Kenny Rogers.
We're very pleased to announce today that we've made a trade with the Oakland A's organization to acquire left-hand pitcher Kenny Rogers. We acquired Rogers for 2 minor league players, outfielder Terrence Long, who's playing in Norfolk right now, and left-handed reliever Leonard Vasquez, who's pitching in Binghamton with our AA affiliate. We're ecstatic to make this trade to add a pitcher of this caliber. Kenny is a tremendous athlete. And one that we think will thrive in the National League. And to be able to get him now, prior to the trading deadline, and to do it without having to move a starting pitcher or upper-level pitching, I think is extraordinary for us. It gives us quite a few options to consider still, and allows us to maintain the depth we have in our pitching, both within the starting rotation and in the bullpen.
And there is the trade. Kenny Rogers comes from Oakland. Vasquez and Long, there are their numbers. Vasquez, a left-handed pitcher, used in relief. Terrence Long, pretty good talent there with good numbers and some good speed. They are gone. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne along with Tom Seaver. Steve Phillips with the announcement. Tom Seaver with the reaction.
Well, I thought about today what happens to the New York Mets pitching staff. You've got, if you count Bobby Jones when he does come back, you've got 7 starters. I do not think that Steve Phillips is done. I think there are more deals in the works, and we'll find out about that. As far as Kenny Rogers, I don't know him personally, but I know how he reacted to the press and to the fans his last trip through New York, and it wasn't necessarily pretty. If he comes here and does not get off to a good start, things could turn bad for him. So it's kind of, for me, a wait-and-see situation. But I do not think the trades are done as far as the New York Mets are concerned.
Maybe one deal to set up another one.
I think so.
All right, one deal that's not going to be made is Sammy Sosa going anywhere. He and the Chicago Cubs are in town, and Sammy Sosa will be honored here tonight.
One of the things about Sammy Sosa, when he goes to right field with power, he is a very difficult out. He gets in a slump when he tries to pull the ball. I talked to him in that series in Chicago. I said, what'd you do different, Sammy? He says, I went to right field and made me keep the front side closed. He is an all-around player, excellent defensive player, and excellent base runner.
There you see his home run start this year, and he had 66 last year, a little slow. He has picked that pace up. He now leads the majors in home runs for the Mets. A good or bad omen that Sosa's not had a home run in his last 7 games. Sammy Sosa on hand here tonight. It is Merengue Night, and lots of folks representing the Dominican on hand, and they were down close to the field getting autographs from that slugger. When we come back, we'll talk about Kenny Rogers and New York City.
Road trip Gina made the call to the desert paradise. Neon lights, drive-through marriage, see the shows, enjoy the sights.
The Mazda Protege. Life's a gamble. Your car shouldn't be.
Hi, I have a question about buying stock. What's the difference between a market order and a limit order? Hello? Excuse me.
When you have an investment question, does your online brokerage have anybody there to answer it? We do.
Long-distance fees apply.
I've heard that sound 100 times.
Morning. Greeting available only between the hours of 5 a.m. and 12 p.m.
It could only mean one thing. This was a cellular town.
Zone
A to B, B to C, C to D.
From 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. on weekdays.
Flying with roaming charges.
I'm no hero. I'm just a guy with a better way.
The Sprint PCS Free and Clear plan. Now as little as a dime anytime, with free long distance.
History-making moments happen at Madison Square Garden. Now you can own unforgettable Garden memories, from the fight of the century to the '73 Knicks championship, and the newest sensation, the Liberty. Limited editions to collect and treasure. Of course, they're authentic. They're Garden guaranteed. The Madison Square Garden Collection. Garden memories you can own forever. Call 201-784-9600 for more information.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you by your Toyota dealer. Visit us at driveatoyota.com. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. Ford Cars and Trucks, built the way you live at your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Charles Schwab, providing people, technology, and support to help you gain financial control. And by the new Dodge. It's about change. Closed captioning is provided as a public service by 1-800-MATTRESS. Leave off the last S for savings. Kenny Rogers comes back to New York City with that story. Here's Sean.
Thank you very much, Gary. In the starting pitching shopping spree, the Mets are first at the checkout aisle. Of course, they have to be a little concerned as to which Kenny Rogers they're getting, the one that's pitched effectively this year or the one that struggled in his first appearance in New York with the Yankees. According to Steve Phillips, one reason they acquired Rogers was his desire to come back to the Big Apple.
He wants to come back to New York. My conversations with Billy Beane have really gone on for quite a bit of time. We had some discussions in spring training, and Billy even said back then, he said, this guy has no fear of New York. He would like to come back to New York if the occasion ever presented itself. We talked to him again today, and he said, I have no problems with that, because obviously we knew that was going to be a question he'd have to answer it.
I've known Kenny since his first day in the big leagues. I think he's made of the right stuff. For us, for our team, I think he's a very good fit. With our infield, I think his ground balls are going to be a welcomed addition to our staff. His competitiveness and that he's left-handed is wonderful.
I have something to prove to myself more than anyone else, but I think when I was in New York myself, I can pitch a lot better than I did. I have no doubts about how I pitched then. Was it the way I can pitch? For a lot of games, I was very happy with the first year. But for myself, I know I'm better, and I think I've shown that. But for me to go back to New York and have the chance to do that, prove to myself more than anyone, that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
During the news conference, Rogers was asked if he was healthy. He said, physically, yes. Mentally, I don't know if anybody's healthy. And that brought a smile to everybody's face, especially Steve Phillips. That is the story from down here. Let's throw things back upstairs to you now, Gary.
Gina Gutierrez performing the national anthem here at Shea Stadium tonight. Big crowd will be on hand, and lots of them have come to see that man, the Major League leader in a home run, Sammy Sosa. Just how many will he get? Well, that's the question baseball fans have, and that's why they take the opportunity to come out and see him. And there'll be nearly a full house, if not a complete sellout here for this game tonight. The New York Mets playing some outstanding baseball, as the Mets now have won their last two. They are 56-41, while the Chicago Cubs have won their last three. Yoshi will be making the start tonight for the New York Mets, who'll have one eye on the scoreboard a bit at least, because Atlanta, that had a 5-1 lead over Philadelphia in game one of a doubleheader, is now trailing. Phillies have come back to take a 6-5 lead in game one of the doubleheader. There you see it. We'll keep an eye on that, game one and game two. Schilling, pitching for Philadelphia, got hit early in game one. He is out of there, but Atlanta's now behind. Sammy Sosa here tonight received a lot of gifts, as a number of the members of the Dominican Council were on hand here tonight from the consulate office making the presentations. And for the New York Mets, an award of $10,000, that check made to the Dominican charities, which Sammy Sosa has worked so closely with over the past few seasons, and in particular over the past year. And that is from the New York Mets. Omar Minaya in the middle, out there with the presentation from the front office of the Mets. Tom, he just generates enormous interest. This is a real superstar.
Well, the electricity, when he walked out of that dugout, there were a group of his comrades from the Dominican Republic behind the dugout, some of his compatriots, and it was just like electric. They exploded when he walked out of the dugout. Applause. You have a lot of people, a lot of celebrities from the Dominican here. The Senor Juan Marichal is going to throw out the first pitch. They have entertainers. The person who's got the biggest ovation here is Sammy Sosa.
Well, that's saying a lot when you see all the names that are on hand here tonight.
Yes, sir.
And Sammy, of course, has continued to be very, very active regarding the charity work in the Dominican Republic. In fact, sent a letter to every congressman yesterday in the United States asking that they support the Dominican Basin bill, which is now pending before Congress, which would provide economic help for the entire Caribbean, and in particular the Dominican Republic. And people from the Dominican on hand here tonight to recognize Sammy and cheer for him, and they came early, and they'll stay late because it's also Merengue Night. And as usual, a smile on his face. Kenny Rogers, Tom's not supposed to be here until Sunday. Mets apparently are going to use a 6-man rotation. Here are the numbers.
The numbers for the season for Kenny Rogers: 5-3, 4.3 earned run average. The thing that strikes you when you look at his numbers, you see his numbers also with the Yankees, 18-15 in those couple of years. The numbers you look at Rogers this year is 5-3 with a 4.3 earned run average, 119 innings pitched. He's given up 135 hits. 135 hits. But if he's a ground ball pitcher with this infield, that number is going to go down. If he gets the ball up, he does get hurt.
He's supposed to join the team on Sunday. Let's check out the Sprint PCS starting lineups. Mickey Morandini for the Cubs will lead it off at second. Tyler Houston will bat second. Mark Grace, that 300 mark again. Sammy Sosa, the cleanup hole. Rodriguez with great power right behind him. Jeff Reed has come over to play for the Cubs, now doing the catching. Hernandez at short. Goodwin will be in center, and Kevin Tapani bats ninth.
And on the mound, Masato Yoshii making his 19th start for the New York Mets. Pitching for the Mets has been terrific of late. The starters have been terrific. It seems to have gelled. Yoshi in 101 innings pitched, 107 hits, 36 walks, and 51 strikeouts. He has given up 16 home runs. One loss, again, 7-7 with a 5.06. One of the things about Kenny Rogers, Gary, that gets to me, that's the same kind of pitcher that they have on their staff already. Look at the defense behind Masato Yoshii, our tri-state Ford defense. Benny Agbayani in left, McRae and Cedeno in the outfield. Ventura, Ordonez, Alfonso, and Allroot in the infield. Mike Piazza behind the plate. The style of pitcher that they've just acquired, if he does pitch for the New York Mets, and we'll get into that later, is the same kind of pitcher that they have here. Hopefully a ground ball pitcher that will take advantage of the infield defense.
One of the reasons they were interested in Rogers is the fact he is a ground ball pitcher. Asano Yoshi starts it out against Mickey Morandini, leading it off. 1-0 count. Morandini will lay one down when given a chance. Doesn't there, and fouls it back, and the count evens up. Morandini, a veteran, worked around the infield. He's playing at second base tonight. He's got a 7-game hit streak coming into tonight's game. Tyler Houston, the third baseman, the man who will follow him in the lineup. Ventura's in at third base. Yoshi with a 1-1 delivery to him, misses down low, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Yoshi has had just one appearance against the Cubs. It came last year, and he lost that game to them. So most of these Chicago hitters have not seen Yoshi. That off the glove. Alfonso, can he do it? Yes. A 1-4-3 put out on Morandini.
A couple of guys from the Chicago broadcast team, Steve Stone, one of them came by and says, "This infield is good as everybody says." I said, "Just watch. Watch how good they are." And they are a show to themselves. I mean, to a man around that infield. And that's a perfect example. Great balance by Alfonso at second, and makes a difficult play look easy. And that's what they do so well.
They have committed the fewest errors in the majors. Only 45 errors committed by the New York Mets all year. Tyler Houston coming up. 260 average and struggling at the plate right now. He's had only a couple of hits in his last 17 at-bats. His average has dropped down, 9 homers, and that a broken bat looper for a base hit into left. Agbayani over to get it, and Tyler Houston is on. That's how you get out of a slump sometimes, with a little wiffle ball hit.
And also hit it over the heads of the defense, interior defense. Not hit well, but it's where you hit it. And a little pop fly over short. Ken the Hawk Harrelson used to call him a little duck snort over shortstop.
Close enough.
Duck snort, that's what
right.
he said.
That's right. And Mike Grace, the perennial 300 hitter, has Grace with a 5-game hit streak, batting .314. And he'll foul that one off. And you see the lefties coming up against Yoshi here in the first inning. This Chicago Cubs lineup's got a few of them. Sammy Sosa with the power in the cleanup spot, waiting on deck. Yoshi, the left-handers are hitting .322 off him this year. Right-handers just .251. He's given up 8 home runs to each side of the plate. And that's going to be trouble down the line. There's a Mark Grace-type hit. Houston's on his way to third. Cedeno with a great arm will get it in. And Cedeno got it in time to hold the runner at third. Ball gets away, backed up. Here's one of those cases. Had the runner come, he would have crawled in safely. Grace is on with a double and a 6-game hit streak.
Down in that right field corner. And a double for Mark Grace. His 24th of the year. Why don't you send the runner? Because you got Sammy Sosa in the on-deck circle with 1 out. You can't get the double play unless they walk Sosa, which I would not be surprised.
34 home runs leading the majors. 81 RBIs. 4th in the league behind Williams, Bagwell, and Walker, and not far behind. Sosa's 81, trailing the leader, Matt Williams, who's got 88. You'll see lots of these flags on hand here tonight from the Dominican. Sammy Sosa with a big chance early in this game has not homered, as we said, in his last 7 games. 2 on, 1 out. And Yoshi delivers down low to him, ball 1.
We talked about it in the opening a little bit, Gary. When Sammy Sosa, as most power hitters are, when they try to hit the ball to right field, that's when they are dangerous hitters. When high power hitters, the McGuires and the Sosas, and a lot of when they try to pull the ball, they get in trouble. Sammy Sosa knows that, and he knows how to get out of a slump, and that's try to hit the ball hard to right center. And what bat speed he generates. I mean, it is phenomenal.
There you see in our Charles Schwab home run league leaderboard in the National League. Sosa 1 ahead of McGuire now, and Bagwell is having an MVP year with Houston. Bell and Walker tied with 27 each. So for year 2 in a row, it's Sosa and McGuire going at it for that home run title. Sammy, of course, finished up with 66 on the year last year. Yoshi in trouble, 1-1. Fastball's up high, 2-1.
You know, we're talking about bat speed. What's one of the things you do as a pitcher? You see the bat speed of the opposing team, and it's great not to have to pitch that opening game so you can watch their bat speed. Sosa, the hitter, you look at the runners on second and third with 1 out. Sosa has the best bat speed in the National League, along with Mike Piazza.
Towering fly ball, deep right field. He's got one now. Goodbye home run. Sammy Sosa, 3-0 Cubs. Another to the league leaderboard.
Well, are you pumped in front of the crowd that's essentially yours here at Shea Stadium? Many of these people already in the ballpark have come to see Sammy Sosa, and disappoint them? I do not think so.
Sammy Sosa delivers number 35, and he rocked it. 9 games since the All-Star break. That is his 3rd home run in that time. And here's Henry Rodriguez at the plate, and there's Sosa, 3 RBIs. Just like that, 3-0. Yoshi's now given up 17 home runs in the year. Rodriguez, he's got 18 home runs. Yoshi comes in high to him, and Rodriguez, another dangerous home run hitter. One is foul back, 2-ball, 2-strike count on Henry Rodriguez.
We talked about Sammy Sosa going to right field. The amazing thing about Sosa, which is the same thing about Piazza, he's one of the few guys that can hit the ball to the opposite field, and you know it's gone when it leaves the bat. They have that kind of power.
Just rocket shots.
You hit the ball to the opposite field, not pull the ball, hit the ball to the opposite field, and you know just by the crack, by the muzzle velocity off the bat, that the ball's going out to the opposite field. And Mike Piazza is exactly the same way.
3-2 delivery. Rodriguez is taken out on the strike. He foul-tipped it. Held on to by Piazza. And Rodriguez, who is 2nd in strikeouts in the league, adds another to that total.
Well, fastball right down the middle, and Yoshi is not a strikeout pitcher. This is Sammy Sosa. You see how his front side was closed, and there's that traditional little hop as he comes out of the batter's box and heads towards first. He knew it was gone. You knew it was gone. And whoever was still in the ballpark already knew it was gone, and so did Dave Wallace.
Some people outside the ballpark knew it. Jeff Reed, the catcher, pops it up to first base. Olerud, look out. Yoshi gets out of the way in time, and Reed is retired, but damage done by the Chicago Cubs' first inning. Sammy Sosa, the right center field off Yoshi, and the Cubs have a 3-0 lead.
Cena journeys to India, where Gabrielle is transformed into Cena's worst nightmare.
Give Gabrielle back and give up his face.
On the next Cena, tomorrow night at 8 on the WB11.
This is revolting.
What's the matter?
They're paying him for this.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Good? You can't even say the name of the product.
He can say it.
What are you talking about?
He's got a thick accent, you know,
Accent?
almost like European.
Hey, Ferret, let me hear you say Bud, nice and clear.
It sounded like Bud.
No, it sounded like...
I think your hearing's going, Lily.
Oh, right. Hey, Ferret, could you lay a little wise on us?
Smooth, like a pro.
Absolutely. What was I thinking?
No matter where your vacation plans take you this season, there's no better place to start than at the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summer of Fun event. Now you can head for the sun with a zero-down, $369 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo lease with only $864 due at signing. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives could save you more on every Grand Cherokee. So hurry to your Jeep dealer for an incredible $369 a month lease today, before these great savings are just another memory.
The Mets and Newsday present International Week 1999. The party starts with Budweiser's Hispanic Night, featuring a post-game concert. Saturday is Irish Night. Adults get a green Mets cap plus a post-game concert by Black 47. Sunday is Jewish Heritage Day, with pre-game music and kosher food stands. On Monday, the Mets salute the Asian community. Tuesday is African American Night, and Wednesday is Italian Night. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX.
Let's check the Sprint PCS starting lineup for the New York Mets tonight. Bobby Valentine will put them out this way. Speed at the top of the order with the league's leading base stealer Roger Cedeno, Edgardo Alfonzo, John Olerud, Mike Piazza, Robin Ventura, Brian McRae in center, Benny Agbayani at left, Ray Ordonez at short, and Yoshi doing the pitching at Ignite.
And on the mound, Kevin Tapney, 6-6, 4.2 earned run average. 100 innings pitched, 103 hits, 57 strikeouts against 25 walks.
Tapney is one of those guys, Tom, you keep wondering, how does this man do it?
He does it the basic way.
He gives up hits and ERA and wins. Roger Cedeno up.
The guts of a cat burglar, keep after him, know what outs you have to get, and you know you're going to give up runs.
And he does.
And he does. And you know you're not a strikeout pitcher.
And he isn't.
And you got to battle. You got to get a double play. You don't have the greatest infield. This infield for the Cubs is certainly not on a par of the infield of the New York Mets. There's no question about that. Not only defensively as far as hands go, but range as well.
Yeah, they struggle mightily, this defensive unit of the Chicago Cubs. They are down in the bottom 4 of the league in fielding percentage. Breaking ball. Did he go? They check it third. No.
Put it in perspective, the Cubs have made 77 errors and the Mets 45 errors. I mean, closing in on a 2-to-1 ratio. I mean, that's a huge difference.
Jim Riggleman's team has won their last 3. They're a game below 500. That line by Cedeno to center, and a nice running catch, Goodwin. Center field has been a spot for the Cubs right now. Lance Johnson's out injured. Goodwin, though, with great speed, got it done.
Take a look at the line drive by Cedeno. This is not an easy play. Twilight, line drive run at you, right at you. Very first hitter. You don't get to see a ball off the bat. That's the first one. That ball is arcing back toward his right shoulder. That was a difficult play.
Good catch. And Edgardo Alfonzo. Edgardo now with a 12-game hit streak, raising his average to .309 on the year. Mr. Steady takes it outside.
Take a second look at the Tri-State Ford defense for the Chicago Cubs. Henry Rodriguez in left, Curtis Goodwin in center, Sammy Sosa in right, Tyler Houston, Jose Hernandez, Mickey Morandini, and Mark Grace around the infield, and Jeff Reed doing the catching.
Towering fly ball to center. You got a mile high under that one. It's just the opposite. Goodwin running like an elk on the first one. That time just kind of roamed like a quiet little camel out there that time, and they're quickly 2 down. 2 fly ball outs. Interesting story. We understand in Detroit tonight the Red Sox-Tiger game has been delayed. They had a violent thunderstorm with 70-mile-an-hour winds. 3 panels came off the press box at Tiger Stadium. No one was injured. There's a crane from the new Comerica Park, which is across the street, that they brought in to fix one of those panels. Yow. 70-mile-an-hour winds. So they're still going to try and play that game tonight in Detroit. In fact, they're underway. But obviously, that could have been serious. 2-0 count. John Olerud. John hitting at .305 now. Has taken extra batting practice of late with his manager, Bobby Valentine. Try and get the swing back. John has struggled this month. Piazza waiting on deck. And and had a good finish to the series in Montreal. Valentine thought the other day when he came out at 2, he looked much better. Olerud's hitting .290 here in the month of July. Nothing wrong with that.
I've been up in the Binghamton, New York, watching that Double-A club. You look at that final score. That's out of Philadelphia, so the Braves lose 6-5.
Olerud to right field. Sammy Sosa drifting in. And that will do it. So a typical Kevin Tapani inning as he gets 3 fly ball outs, 1 hard, the other 2 lazy fly balls. Yoshi will try and settle down now as he'll come up against Hernandez, who'll lead it off.
Many sport utility vehicles feature a body that's held to a frame by just 10 bolts. The body and frame of the Infiniti QX4 is actually one solid structure held together by over 4,200 precision welds. So if you ever wonder why the QX4 drives so solid, it's because it is so solid.
Hello, Mr. Peterson. Hello. So, do you have any questions before we get started?
Yeah. Do you think a computer with 500 megahertz and 128 megs of RAM is enough?
Well, let's do a little investigating, shall we?
Looking for technology information? There's really only one place to go, cnet.com.
Do you like bran muffins?
Yeah.
Select road. Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires take control.
We brought you the most innovative minivan in history, revolutionary cab-forward design, and the first pickup with 4 doors. Now, here's what's new for the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance, with exceptionally low lease rates. Generous cash allowances on select models. Not to mention extremely low financing. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
This copyrighted telecast authorized under television rights granted by the Mets solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Mets is malum prohibitum. Jose Hernandez hitting at 269, bottom third of the order. Goodwin and then Tapani due up against Yoshi. Well, the Cubs have already survived the most dangerous inning. They have given up 75 runs in the first inning off Chicago pitchers. Tapani came out and retired the side in order. See the numbers on Hernandez. Played most of the year at shortstop. Yoshi with the off-speed delivery. 2 ball, 1 strike count. So you have been traveling to upstate New York.
I was up watching the minor league club, the Double-A team in Binghamton, and Tom Robson was up there. One of the first things he said is how John Olerud doing. I said you wouldn't know the difference. If the same hit 370 as he does hitting 305. And just out of room for Roger Cedeno and Wright. But he said, say hello to all the boys. Seems to be fitting his way into the minor league instruction role. Find out so you don't step on people's toes, understand everybody's territory, who's working with whom, and what you're working on, and all that stuff.
The let-go hitting instructor of the Mets, great that he is still in the organization. He took the opportunity afforded him to do that. 2-2 delivery to Hernandez, strike 3 called. Yoshi gets his second strikeout. Hunter Wendelstedt, the home plate umpire tonight, calling that high strike, 1 away.
High strike, how high is it? That would not have been a strike last year. It's a strike this year. Pretty good pitch. The old rule, if it's that close, too close to take.
Curtis Goodwin, the center fielder. She getting the first out here in this inning. And foul back. Home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt is from, yes, the Wendelstedt family. Larry Poncino, Gary Darling, and Jerry Meals, the umpiring Wendelstedt family. Harry Wendelstedt's his dad. I had the pleasure of doing the game. He and his father in San Diego for the first time. A touching, I mean, story that happened. His dad had wanted to see Harry, his father, and Hunter umpire together. Last year it happened. His dad died the day before the game. And that night at San Diego, the two of them decided they would do the game in honor of their father and then fly back east for the funeral ceremonies. And it was, I happened to be broadcasting the game that night for ESPN, and it was really a touching night. 2-1 to Goodwin. And he fouls off the off-speed delivery. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They are human, folks. They probably have made a monumental mistake as a group in submitting their resignations, and they know it, I think, now. As Major League Baseball has started the battle with no holes barred. Curtis Goodwin, the 2-2. Some have tried to withdraw the resignations, and Major League Baseball to the moment has said, we are not going to let you withdraw them. And they have already gone out and hired a number of minor league umpires to fill in once the Major League umpires resign. Right now, Major League Baseball is going to let them go. Foul back.
It's an awful situation. It's as if you're saying, you know, don't tempt me or I will pull the trigger at this gun pointed at my head. And that's it's a situation you just can't understand how they would ever get there. They put themselves right
in the hands of Major League Baseball.
I mean, just off, played right into it.
If the umpires said to Major League Baseball, what would you like us to do so you can fire us, get rid of us, that's what they would have said. Down to third, Robin Ventura.
You know, you can understand had they gone to the Major League Baseball and said, we will sign these letters of resignation. And they went to him and said, we have already, the verb is past tense. We have signed these letters of resignation.
Doesn't look good.
And almost you look and say, well, there's the door. See you later. And that's essentially what they're doing.
Don't let it hit you on the way out.
Boy.
Here's Kevin Tapani. You saw he has only 1 hit. Takes the pitch for a strike on the outside corner. 35-year-old veteran the Mets have never beaten. He is 3-0 lifetime against New York, and he's got a 3-0 lead here in this ballgame. Fouls that one off right field side, no play, and a 2-strike count on Tapani. Yoshi, 34-year-old right-hander, against his mound opponent at the plate for the moment. Tapani, 126 wins, 93 losses in his career, as we showed you. 19-game winner last year, only 9 losses. Despite the fact he had an ERA of 4.85 in a 19-win season. Believe that?
Happens all the time if you play in Chicago. Wrigley Field, summer comes, wind blowing out. Better keep the ball down.
Grounded toward short, Ray Ordonez. So Yoshi, after giving up the 3 runs on 3 hits in the first inning, comes back and retires the Cubs in order. Mets in the second. We'll start with Piazza.
I just want to celebrate.
Always ready to go anywhere or do anything. Celebrate that feeling in a new Ford Explorer. Now during the Ford authorized clearance, get special low 0.9% financing on every '99 Explorer and Explorer Sport in stock. With 0.9 APR, freedom has never come easier.
I just want to celebrate. Yeah.
Celebrate the possibilities in Explorer during the Ford authorized clearance at your Tri-State Quality Ford store.
Lisa decides it's time to redo the kitchen. Great, I say. You get the easy part. Picking the cabinets, choosing the colors. Meanwhile, I got to go make nice to some loan officer down at the bank and agonize for weeks. Lisa suggests SwingspanBank.com instead. So I apply online, and I get the answer right then. Now Lisa wants me to go look at faucets. No way, I say. I swung the money. My work is done here.
If your bank could start over, this is what it would be. WingspanBank.com.
Projections by this afternoon. No, by 3.
Got that right.
But I want to be in my section, okay? Not John's. Do I have to explain it to you? Did you get him the updated projections?
Yeah.
I don't want him in green. I hate green, that's why. Look, I told you already. Earnings on the vertical, regions on the horizontal. What's so funny?
Some days it's all the help you need. The Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. It's life listed alphabetically.
Gary Thorne, Tom Seaver, welcome back. A 3-0 Cub lead. Big baseball night in New York with the Cubs here. Sellout crowd at Shea. Cleveland's at Yankee Stadium. 3 sellout crowds do there. That's a lot of baseball, the Big Apple, but they're going to jam them in both sides of the river.
I hope somebody's up there in a helicopter taking pictures.
Well,
I mean, that's not going to happen very often,
no.
where both stadiums are going to be jam-packed.
Same night.
As soon as the darkness comes over the city, and what a sight that's going to be.
Pitch is taken down low for a ball. Mike Piazza leading it off. 320 now on the year for Mike. He's just out of the top 10 in average by 2 points. Fouls that one back. 20 homers. That's just out of the top 10 in homers. 63 RBIs. That's 7 out of the top 10 in RBIs.
We're talking about Sammy Sosa's bat speed. This is the other individual in the National League I think has the best bat speed. And by bat speed, I'm talking about when he takes that bat to the hitting zone. Once it gets on his back hip and travels out in front of the front hip, those two guys are as good as it gets. Mark McGwire's a little bit longer swing. I think these two have the best bat speed. And believe it or not, the one before that, I go all the way back to George Foster.
Wow.
He had tremendous bat speeds right at the last second.
He had a whip, didn't he?
Oh, man.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Piazza. Mike's hitting .400 over his last 12 games. 4 homers and 15 RBIs in those dozen games. And reach for that one. Back deep, Tyler Houston, barehanded. Infield hit. Mike Piazza.
Mike Piazza can smell base hit on this one. When he's into the plate, Tyler Houston playing very deep, especially with 2 strikes. Way out in front of the ball, just a little tapper and really no chance. Watch Piazza going to first. He knows that's got a base hit written on it. And you can see how he busted out of the box. He knows he's hitting 320, and he's darn proud to be a 300 hitter. And if you get that, a guy with Piazza who does not have good speed has to get his share of infield hits when the opportunity arises.
Got that one because of how deep Tyler Houston was playing it. First hit for the Mets. Piazza on at first base. Robin Ventura. And Ventura swings and misses on it.
Mike Piazza knows 2 strikes. Third baseman is way back there. And doing his Jesse Owens imitation. He was getting it down to first. You got it.
Working on that 100. 0-2 count to Robin Ventura. And the pitch is outside by Tapani. Robin Ventura has been red hot as well. 9 for his last 18. That covers a 5-game span. And against Tapani, a lot of at-bats and a .412 average with 4 home runs off him. Ventura leading the Mets in RBIs with 70. That's tied for 10th in the league. Big Mac of the Mets waiting on deck.
He just took my line right out of my mouth, too. I said, if I'm going to give you a quiz, who leads the Mets in RBIs? Not looking, just on top of your head.
I'd guess
Piazza.
Yeah. Robin's been the leader virtually all year.
Yeah. And he's just very quietly gotten there. But he's got Olerud in front of him, and he's got Piazza, guys with high on-base percentage. 2 guys at the top when you talk to Ricky Henderson and Cedeno that run well. He's got a lot of men on. But that's a surprise.
Yep. 1-2 delivery up high. Piazza 63 runs batted in, and Robin Ventura with 70. League leader Matt Williams with 88. Jim Riggleman's team trying to make it 4 in a row and do damage to the Mets. Grace playing behind. Piazza at first base. So I'm kicking the bag there, but he moves off it. 2-2 to Ventura, left center field. Goodwin, Rodriguez, Goodwin, way back. Hit bounces off the base of the wall. Piazza's at third. Relay throw will hold him there, and Robin Ventura is going to stand up double.
Terrific power to left center. Ball down and away. Robin Ventura goes right with it. Look at the location on the plate on the outer half. If he tries to pull that ball, potentially a double play. With the twilight here, I do not think that Mike Piazza picked that ball up. He saw it, but he couldn't really tell if it was going to be off the wall or not. And as a result, with nobody out, he's got to be held up at third by Cookie Rojas. That's actually very good running, base running by Piazza.
2-1. Brian McRae, the off-speed changeup out in front. And a strike on Mac. One of the reasons McRae is starting tonight in center, even though he's hitting .227 and has struggled, he, like Ventura, has big numbers off Kevin Tapani in his career. Nobody out. 3-0 Cub lead. Mets threatening to short. Piazza will come home. Hernandez will make the play. One down, an RBI for McRae, and the ground ball out, and it is 3-1. So credit McRae with the RBI. That's his 36th of the year.
Well, you get credit for an RBI, but in that situation, it's almost as if there is no runner on third base, and your job is to get the runner at second over to third. So a job half done by Brian McRae. Ventura still on second base. You got to get a pitch off Tapani. At least McRae does. Pull it to the right side. Get it on the ground at minimum. To get a runner over to third base for Benny Agbayani.
Agbayani making the start in left field. One away. Runner at second base. And the fastball by Tapani missed and also crossed up Reed. Reed almost lost control of that ball. It was a fastball, and he was looking for something else, and he kind of had to twist the glove at the very end in order to come up with that.
They're just doing a double check on their signs. Runner on second. You never know what kind of signs people are using, other teams are using. They could be using outs. It could be changed with right-hand hitter, left-hand hitter.
Bayani to third. Houston holds the runner. 2 down.
Well, the last three hitters have hit the ball right on the button. Ventura, the double to left center. And McRae hit that ball sharply to shortstop that drove in Piazza. And this right on the button by Benny Agbayani.
This is just such a typical Kevin Tapani start. He's given up a run here. Balls have been tagged all over the place in the inning, and he's got a chance to get out of it, giving up one run. Ray Ordonez takes the breaking ball down low.
And there is a lesson in that, Gary. What Kevin Tapani does, he works quickly, gets on the mound, he doesn't fiddle around. Basically goes after hitters and throws strikes. Doesn't walk many. Has a quick pace to him, and you'll see good defensive plays made behind pitchers that do that. He doesn't put his infield and outfielders to sleep.
Tapani, 1 ball, 1 strike count on Ordonez. Infielders like to be alive out there. No, there's not going to be a lot of time between pitches. They don't have to wander around, kick up dirt. They can just pretty much take one step, settle back. 1-1 to Ray Ordonez to left field. Rodriguez. And Tapani indeed does get out of it, giving up just one. A run on a couple of hits with a base runner left on at second. Piazza scoring cuts the Cubs lead to 2.
Taxi! Stop! Hey, somebody call 911! Hey!
Hey, is this your truck?
Yeah.
Come on. Get a Toyota Tacoma 4x4. You can't get a more powerful V6, and with up to $1,300 in option package discounts, it's a steal. So's the Tacoma 4x2, rated best overall value of the year.
You okay?
I'm good, but officer, is that your car?
Yeah.
Come on.
We're with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th crew members of Team 10-10-345 to help you remember that with 10-10-345, all long-distance calls from home within New York or New Jersey are just 7 cents a minute. Hey, hobo guys! No, that's not, guys.
Hey, what are you doing?
Guys, Rich is here. Guys, oh, heck, I'll do it myself. With 10-10-345, all calls from home within New York or New Jersey are just 7 cents a minute. Dial 10-10-345 and save today. Be careful on the curves.
Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Now at Pep Boys, all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for only $99, and all 70,000-mile tires 4 for $169. Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
Are you ready to turn ahead the clock to the year 2021?
Don't miss the Mercury Mets in their only planet Earth appearance this season. On July 27th, you can beam to the year 2021 and see baseball's hottest team, the Mercury Mets, as they take on the Pirates. See the Mets in 21st century uniforms, and kids will take home the special Mercury Mets cap, courtesy of Century 21 Real Estate Organization. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX.
Immediately following tonight's game, join Kenny Tong and Jim Watkins for complete team coverage of JFK Jr., Caroline Bessette, Kennedy's private memorial service here in Manhattan. That's coming up right after our game tonight on the WB11 News at 10. The flags are flying at half-staff here in New York as elsewhere, recognizing that tragedy over this past week. Mickey Morandini will lead it off. Morandini, Houston and Grace. Morandini denied a base hit as he put one up the middle. It bounced off Yoshi's glove and went to second, and Alfonso got him. Strike taken on the inside corner. Morandini, as you see, you can tell just by watching him, is a very patient hitter. One of the reasons he's in that leadoff spot. He'll wait, and he'll wait some more. Make you throw strikes. Look for the one he wants. Morandini's, he's been a good contact hitter. And yes, he'll do that too. Outside doing.
And those kinds of hitters, Gary, can hit more than one pitch. That's why they are so patient. They don't have a pitch that they are afraid of. Many young hitters, will be afraid of the breaking ball and become first ball, high ball, fastball hitters and chase that first fastball that they see. An old veteran like Morandini, the patience of a saint, will sit there and wait and wait and wait.
Makes the pitcher throw a lot. McRae the play on him. Morandini retired. He's out here in the third inning. Tyler Houston kicked off that first inning with a base hit. Came around to score on the Sammy Sosa 3-run homer. First hit he's had of Yoshi, 1 for 4 in the times he has faced him. Just his third hit in his last 18 at-bats. Still hitting .264, and he tried to lay one down to get on. Fouled it off for a strike.
You know, talking about the Kenny Rogers deal and him coming over here, and Bobby Jones comes back, the starting staff for the Mets, they'll have 7 starters. And if you listen to Bobby Valentine and Steve Phillips, what they're going to do is plug in. There's Bobby Valentine now lighter. They're going to plug in Kenny Rogers when he gets here, right into their rotation.
But they're a foul ball.
He started to say fair, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He had me fooled down there. Jerry Meals at third.
Take a look at it again. Wow. Did the Mets catch a break there? Camera angle, you can't really tell. Umpire right on top of it, looking down that line.
It was right on top of him.
Yeah.
Leiter and Jones right there, Tom.
Well, talking about Bobby Jones, when he comes back, the Mets will have 7 starters. And if listen in the press conference, some of the things said on the field prior to the game, with the idea that there's going to be another deal made. They have 7 pitchers. Win Jones, Bobby Jones right there. If when he returns, he's been throwing and doing rehab on that sore shoulder of his. Trading deadline is Saturday. And they're going to plug this pitcher in. They're going to plug Kenny Rogers in. Meaning that all the starters are going to stay in rotation through this first trip through. Meaning that if another club is looking for a starting pitcher, you don't want that starting pitcher coming back out of the bullpen for a trade. You want to keep them all in there and give them a maximum value, if you will. Don't say, okay, these are our 5 starters, and this guy's our 6th starter. And we'll pitch on a 5-day rotation, so he's our spot starter. What they're going to do is pitch everybody right on rotation. They'll make the opposition, what are the other teams that are looking for pitching, make those teams define who they think is their number 6 pitcher on this staff.
And there's the first walk given up by Yoshi. Tom, one of the things that we're looking right here, last year, second half of the season, Masato Yoshi struggled. He only went 2 and 4. Bobby Valentine knows when he pitched in Japan, he pitched on a 7-day rotation. So he tends to tire. Bobby Jones, no one knows what he's got left. Al Leiter's tried to pitch a lot, not necessarily successfully deep into games. Maybe a 6 or 7 man rotation isn't such a bad idea.
No, you can't do that. There's no way you can do that. If they don't make another deal, somebody's got to go to the bullpen. You can't take what is basically a sinker ball pitching staff, give them a lot of rest, where their sinker ball doesn't sink.
Then it goes out of the yard.
That's right. Then you've got to have downward movement on the sinker. You can't stretch a sinker ball staff out. You can't pitch them once a week. They've got to be fine. They've got to have control, and they've got to have downward movement on that fastball. And this is the kind of staff that has to have that. If they don't make a trade, somebody's going to the bullpen. Take your pick. It isn't Al Leiter, it isn't Rick Reed. Who's it going to be?
She could go to the bullpen as a right-hander.
I mean, they've got candidates to do that.
Yep.
You get a Kenny Rogers to take him to the bullpen. No, that's not what they're getting him for.
It'll be interesting. Rogers from Oakland today for minor leaguers. Mike Grace 1-1. Inside to Grace. Mike Grace, a .310 career average, one of the most consistent hitters year after year in baseball. It's always right there around .310 to .320. Always. Sammy Sosa waiting on deck. Runner at first, 1 out. Grace not fast. Ground ball could turn 2. Takes it inside, and it's 3-1.
3-1 with who on? Oh, you know who on deck, right? Digging a hole. You got a great infield behind you. You got to have Grace put the ball in play.
3-1 count. Grace with a 6-game hit streak. Runner goes, hit and run, hits him. Base runner is out of there as Mike Grace on a hit and run put the ground ball right into Tyler Houston heading to second base. And Alfonso had not moved, so there would have been a play on that ball anyway, but didn't need to.
A couple of situations happening here. Mark Grace gets credited with a base hit. The other thing that Yoshi goes to 3-2, which eliminates the double play that had never gotten the lead runner. Runner is off, a non-strikeout pitcher on the mound, and gets hit with a ball. So if that pitch is made at 2-2, you got a double play. Instead, it's 3-2. You still have a runner at first, and you're facing Sammy Sosa with a runner on base.
Sosa's 35th home run in the first inning to right field over the 371 mark. And a strike taken on the inside corner. They aren't too excited about watching Sammy play, are they? Well, I'll tell you, talk about a genuine, bona fide platinum hero to the Dominican Republic as well as elsewhere, but especially in his homeland. This guy is it. They just cannot get enough of Sammy Sosa. Sosa's had 16 home runs against the Mets and 242 at-bats. Fastball is right there.
Take a look at the pitch, up and out over the plate. Doesn't try to pull it, goes to right field. That is a long way to the opposite field. He will hit home runs, and he will strike out. 366 times to the plate. He struck out 93 times.
Ian Rodriguez back-to-back in the order are 3 and 2 in the league in strikeouts.
Amazing.
0-2 delivery. Ooh, that didn't miss by much. Yoshi really wanted that one. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Boy, if you fool around up there, you look at this pitch. Where is it on the plate? Yeah, it's on the plate, but had to be called out. You can see Mike Piazza reaching up for the ball, so the ball had to be up. If you fool around up there, Sammy Sosa, again, to reiterate, bat speed up there, he can get to that high fastball.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. Got him on the outside corner, and Yoshi fell down. And Sosa stays to talk with Hunter Wendelstedt a minute. I don't think Yoshi knew what the call was. He was down before the call came. He got out and had to look to see if indeed it was strike 3. It was.
Oh, brother, now I've seen it all.
What's that?
They gave the ferret a teleprompter.
Teleprompter. Well, I guess he can't memorize his lines, huh?
Memorize his lines. The guy's a door jam. I don't know why they give him so much slack.
Well, that's because he's got a good look.
A good look?
Yeah, look at me. Looks like a little European filmmaker.
I had a good look.
Louis, no lizard, has a good look.
What are you talking about?
We're not a good-looking species.
We're not... You have no pride, Frank.
I simply know my limitations.
I am classically chiseled.
It's all about being in the right place at the right time. Celebrate from the driver's seat in a new Ford Escort during the Ford authorized clearance. Now get up to $2,000 cash back, or as low as 0.9% financing, plus $1,250 cash back. Celebrate in a new set of wheels during the Ford authorized clearance at your Tri-State Quality Ford store.
Today, Nortel Networks is changing the way businesses communicate.
Here come old Flat Top. You come grooving up slowly. You got Juju eyeball. He's saying, I know you. You know me. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free. Come together.
Bringing it all together with the true power of the Internet.
Come together.
Nortel Networks.
Right now.
How the world shares ideas.
Over me.
The new Monopoly Instant game from the New York Lottery. Just match numbers on houses and hotels, and you could win up to 25 grand instantly. With 10 chances to win, it sure beats second prize in a beauty contest. The Monopoly Instant game. Win real money, not play money.
Take a look at our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. Game 1, Philadelphia got the victory, and they came from behind. They were down 5-1 in that game. Sato Yoshi will lead it off against Tapani. Yoshi has picked up 5 hits, 28 at-bats, all singles. Fastball's there, 1-1. Second game, Atlanta on top early. Montreal leading at home. Mets did a number on them. Milwaukee, Florida. Houston, that's game 1 as they finished up the Larry Dierker game. That's when Dierker had that attack and went down. They finished the game. Houston won it 4-1 right where they left it. Now they're playing game 2. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Towards second, Mickey Morandini. In the American League, let's see, Toronto got the victory as they're battling for a wild card spot. Texas battling for a division lead. Detroit and Boston battling 70-mile-an-hour winds in Detroit that held up the start of that game. And a big house on hand here at Shea Stadium. Gary Thorne, Tom Seaver, thanks for joining us, everybody. 3-1, Chicago on top. Roger Cedeno hitting at 322, top of the order. Slide out his first time up. 8th best average in the league starting today's play. John Casey moved ahead of Larry Walker for the league lead in hitting now again, 371 to 364. Cedeno at 323 starting the day. We've got 2 of the top 10 hitters in this game. Henry Rodriguez is 4th in the league in hitting for the Cubs. Cedeno takes that strike on the inside corner, 2-1.
You know what's fun to do is watch the development of a young player. Cedeno getting a lot of playing time now. In the first 2 pitches here, he was checking his defense, checking the infield, checking the outfield to see where they were playing him. When he first started playing here this season, getting playing time, he was concentrating only on the pitcher. But he has developed now a level of confidence where he's seen a bigger picture in front of him, and he wants to know how the defense is playing him. So maybe that's how the pitcher is going to pitch him.
Tapani took that one away from him. That's Kevin Tapani's first strikeout.
Hey, look at it from up above, and the off-speed pitch looks like it's going to be a strike and fades away. That is a good splitter. Tapani takes something off of it. Ball looks like it's going to be a fastball, and all of a sudden dies and moves at the hitting zone. Down and away.
Edgardo Alfonzo flied out. He's trying to continue a 12-game hit streak that he has going. For Edgardo Alfonzo, a 342 July so far. Mets' current hitting instructor. Players have gotten along with very well. Brantley, 1-1. And a breaking ball in for a strike. He has quietly taken that role over, tried to keep the low road, just work with players, bring no attention to himself. He's done that well.
And also don't think that Mickey Brantley doesn't know these hitters, and the hitters don't know him. He was right there in spring training.
End of the bat on that one. Hernandez. That'll do it. So Tapani has an easy inning. He retires the side in order. Mets are down. We've completed 3 in Shea in game 1 of the series with the Cubs. The Cubs lead it.
Clint Eastwood in one of the most gripping police thrillers ever made. Dirty Harry. Tomorrow at 2 on the WB 11.
Taxi! Stop! Hey, somebody call 911! Hey! Hey, is this your truck?
Yeah.
Come on. Get a Toyota Tacoma 4x4. You can't get a more powerful V6, and with up to 1,300 in option package discounts, it's a steal. So's the Tacoma 4x2, rated best overall value of the year.
You okay?
I'm good, but officer, is that your car?
Yeah.
Come on.
What kind of rooms you got?
King size.
You got room service?
Donuts and coffee.
Got entertainment?
All rooms have every movie ever made in every language, anytime, day or night.
How is that possible?
Could your business use the bandwidth to change everything? Ride the light. Quest.
I believe in taking the time to be right.
Taking the time
because
to be right.
it's a lot faster
Because it's a lot
than
faster
being wrong.
than being wrong. I believe in taking my clients
taking
seriously.
my clients seriously.
And myself less
and
so.
myself.
I believe integrity doesn't hinder performance.
It is performance.
It is performance.
I believe we are driven to succeed
Porque no estamos dispuestos.
because we are unwilling to fail. I work for J.P. Morgan.
Trabajo en JP Morgan.
I work for J.P. Morgan.
A new Dodge trivia question always drives Bob and Head Dollman a little bit wild out there. Chicago had 3 nicknames before they settled on Cubs. What were they? 3 nicknames before they settled on Cubs. What were they? Bob and Head Dollman now has his own fan club thanks to Tom Seaver. The fans on hand see no Seavers allowed in Bob and Head Dollman's fan club. 41's got the big line through it. Don't take that personal, partner. It's not personal, it's business.
It's like a knife in the heart, I'm telling you. Taking a back seat.
Are you hurting?
The Bob and Head Dollman.
Can you stay with us for the rest of the game?
That's the lowest of the low.
Be all right? Henry Rodriguez hitting at .338. Tom, of course, presented with a Bob and Head Doll keychain during our trip to Florida.
You guys are sick.
But why is it in my house? How did it end up in my house?
Because I got rid of it. I found some sucker to take it. I know that.
Easy. It's my lady you're talking about there. Rodriguez, broken bat, left center field. Benny Agbayani is there, and Rodriguez is retired for the second time. Henry's 0 for 2.
Catcher Jeff Reed.
Take a look at it again. Inside out, big kick set up, and did not get the bat head out front. Easy fly ball for Agbayani and left.
1 away. That'll bring up Jeff Reed. With Benito Santiago having so much time out of the lineup, the need for a catcher at Wrigley. Here's the answer. He was signed as a free agent July 8th for the remainder of the year as a club option for next year. He was placed on waivers by Colorado on July 2nd. Reed's a veteran, been around, played a good deal at Montreal. 1-0 delivery to him is taken inside for a ball and brings yet another left-handed bat into this lineup. Chicago Cubs do not have a switch hitter. Period. Career numbers, 1,094 games. 2-0 fastball by Yoshi, misses 3-0.
More and more in the big leagues, valuable bodies, catchers, and pitchers. a commodity that everybody is in line for.
So many injuries in both departments. So many pitchers and catchers showing up injured. Clubs like the Cubs, Jim Riggleman simply had to find somebody to come in and play. Bobby Valentine knows about the injuries on the pitcher's side, and he walked him. That is the second walk Yoshi has given up in the game. Comes with one down here in the fourth inning. That will give Jose Hernandez a chance. Jason Essringhausen suffered enough injuries for a lifetime. Working out of the bullpen now for the Mets, of course.
He came out of the bullpen the other night in Baltimore, pitched 1 inning, and then they turned it over to Pat Mahomes. I think that was a showcase down there in Baltimore. Rumblings of a potential deal. He pitched in Montreal, 1 inning. A lot of people still interested in that young man. He's got a great arm, but he's got to get to a point, a club that he's comfortable with, where he's comfortable in knowing that he has a job, and where he can get confidence in himself. That's the biggest thing that he needs. He says he likes pitching out of the bullpen. Can't get all wound up.
Boy, that hit hard. Hernandez has got a base hit. Hernandez on. He's 1 for 2 now, and the Cubs have their 5th hit off Yoshi. I'll tell you, Tom, though, please, not Albert Bell. Please. Are you kidding me?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Don't do that.
I could not agree with him more.
I mean, his name is Surface, but please, a little more poison. I mean, that is, I don't know. I know he's got a bat and he can hit home runs, but I think the poison he does inside the walls is more than he does good on the outside. But his name, that's a rumor. That's only a rumor that's been floated. It's been in the papers that Mets were talking to Baltimore about Bell. Here's Curtis Goodwin hitting at 283, and that one's inside for a ball.
The thing is that the Mets have a dearth, they have an excess of outfielders. They have a lot of outfielders at the major league level and in the minor league level. Terrence Long was one of them that they traded in the Kenny Rogers deal. They have a lot of outfielders. That's one of their strong long suits, if you will.
Pick off. Ordonez not in time. Reed back in at second base.
If Yoshi had turned a little bit earlier, you want that ball to get there just at the shortstop. As the shortstop gets there, you could see that Ordonez was already set up at second. You want that ball to get there as he gets there. That's better. You know, your opportunity is lost because the fish has gone for the bait one time and got his lip hooked with the hook. And so you've shortened him up a couple of steps. Yep. And instead of being way off, I'm back within 2 steps to second base.
Reed at second. And that one to second base, Edgardo Alfonso. Ray Ordonez, turn 2. Curtis Goodwin, who's got some real good speed, hit that ball hard, and the Mets infield does it again. 5th time he's hit into a double play, and that ends the inning. No runs, a hit, and 1 base runner left off.
Hello, welcome to Dodge Durango 101. Today I'll be covering the 5.2 and 5.9 liter Magnum V8 vis-a-vis Durango's superiority in the class structure of domestic compact sport utility vehicles. You're not listening. You're just staring at the Durango, aren't you? Aren't you? Why do I even bother? I don't know. I'm just standing up here like a big doofus.
Hello, Ms. Gruber. Can I interest you in some wonderful opportunities in the stock? Ms. Gruber?
It's time for E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online.
Select road. Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires, take control.
Are you ready for a little Mets magic?
Show up at Shea on Saturday, July 24th, as the Mets battle Sammy Sosa and the Chicago Cubs. All kids will get a Mr. Met doll, courtesy of IHOP. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX. That's 718-507-TIXX.
Now that's a painting by a higher authority right there. Mets baseball brought to you by Wingspan.com. If your bank could start over, this is what it would be. Jeep, the most award-winning brand of 4x4s on earth. CNET, the source for computers and technology at CNET.com. And by the new Dodge, it's about change. Oh, what a beautiful sight, huh? A painted night, and at Shea Stadium, a full house and a good ball game. 3-1 Cubs on top as they got him on Sosa's 3-run homer in the first inning. John Olerud against Kevin Tapani. Olerud flied out his first time up. John with 8 hits in his last 31 at-bats, batting .304 in the year, and he's got one right there. Sosa over to play it, leadoff single. John Olerud, third hit for the Mets.
Take a look at the swing. Fooled by the pitch a little bit out in front, but keeps the bat right on the plane of the ball. You can see he's just out in front, but doesn't give up on the ball. Keeps that bat in the hitting zone a long time. Doesn't get it in there and pull it out by over-swinging. Just a fraction out in front, a little bit off that front foot, but enough for a base hit.
Mike Piazza chasing that one on the outside part of the plate. Strike one. Piazza single, and he scored in the second inning on the ground ball up by McRae. He has lit the Big Apple up a few times already this season. That's the Big Apple that lights up when he puts one out of the yard. He's had 11 homers at home, 9 on the road. Tapani stayed away from him 0-2.
Well, whatever he's doing, Kevin Tapani is making Mike Piazza look bad. Remember the base hit Piazza got earlier? Tapper down the third baseline, and Mike beat it out for a base hit. 2 bad swings here.
That looked like a slider to you?
Maybe a splitter or a slider. Something off speed.
I didn't think he threw a slider, to tell you the truth.
I think it was probably a splitter. As one of the things about Mike Piazza, he's got such tremendous bat speed. A lot of pitchers will try to slow his bat speed down by throwing him off-speed pitches. That's how you've got a chance to be successful. Guy of Piazza's caliber, you cannot just pitch him one way.
2-strike pitch, right field, towering fly ball. Sammy Sosa, runner halfway, fair territory. Sosa makes the play. 1 down.
I think he just missed that. And I think Mike Piazza knows it. We're talking about bat speed. Got the ball up a little bit. See it? And he was going that way with 2 strikes. He just missed it. The concentration with the eyes, the ball on the outside part of the plate, right down on it. Boy, he just missed it. A little bit out in front, and that's why I get it underneath it, at the bottom half of the ball.
Robin Ventura, batting at .288. 23 doubles on the year for the Mets third baseman, as he had one in the second inning and was stranded. Kevin Tapani had a hard time getting him out of there. Grace playing behind the runner at first. The left-handed hitter up, and the off-speed deliveries away. Grace moves in to hold John Olerud close, but knows he's not going to run, and then moves back. Tapani trying to find himself a win. He is a win, a loss, and 3 no decisions in his last 5 starts. Kevin Tapani's gone a while. His last win was June 24 against Colorado. 6-6 on the year for a 19-game winner last year. 2-0 delivery by Tapani, a chopper. Tapani looks to second, goes to first. Grace there. 2 down. Take a look at our Toyota line score. The Cubs 3-5-0. The Mets 1-3-0. Sosa's got the 3-run homer for Chicago, and McRae on a ground ball out. The Mets RBI. Brian McRae, 2 down. Runner at second base now, and John Olerud. McRae grounding out his first time up. 360 hitter against Tapani. Mets trailing by 2. And a strike to Brian.
You know, Gary, you talked about in the second inning when the Mets had runners at second and third and 1 out, they only scored the 1 run. One of the things a pitcher has to do, and a veteran like Tapani will know it. Here, a runner at second base with 2 outs. This a big out for him. This is a big run to save. Granted, Olerud does not run well at second base, and a sharp single may not score him. But with two outs, he does not have to hold up at second base. One of the things you have to do as a pitcher, and veteran pitchers, smart like Tapani can do, will recognize which outs are important, and this is one of them for him. There are usually 5 in a game that you have to get to win, and for him, this might be one of them. Off-speed pitch inside corner, and a beauty.
McRae hitting just 195 with runners in scoring position is down on the count here, 1-2. Down the third, but foul on the fastball. Ryan McRae, of course, clearly an outfielder who's available. Here you see his numbers off Tapani. Talking about trade deals, McRae was put on waivers and nobody claimed him. So if there was a deal, McRae would certainly be a name the Mets would be willing to put into that mix. But Mack has struggled at the plate this year, hitting .226, and again fights to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strike count. This is where Tapani can really get a hitter going. He throws all that off-speed stuff and that split-fingered pitch. You try and guess on him here, and you're probably going to be in trouble. You just try and lay the bat on whatever he gets up there. 1-2, and that one missed down low, 2-2.
Normally in this situation, 2 strike does try to do exactly that. You lay the bat on the ball, put the ball in play to the left side.
2 down, Olerud off second base. Chopper to second base. Morandini. So again, as Tom said, Tapani able to get the big outs. No runs, a base hit, base runner left on at second. Mets have stranded 2, both have been second base. 3-1 Cubs.
Taxi! Stop! Hey, somebody call 911! Hey, is this your truck?
Yeah.
Come on. Get a Toyota Tacoma 4x4. You can't get a more powerful V6, and with up to $1,300 in option package discounts, it's a steal. So's the Tacoma 4x2, rated best overall value of the year.
You okay?
I'm good, but officer, is that your car?
Yeah.
Come on.
Hello, Mr. Peterson. Hello. So, do you have any questions before we get started?
Yeah. Do you think a computer with 500 megahertz and 128 megs of RAM is enough?
Well, let's do a little investigating, shall we?
Looking for technology information? There's really only one place to go, CNET.com.
Do you like bran muffins?
Yeah.
Need brakes? Get the best in the business to install them. And a lifetime guarantee honored at every Midas nationwide. Go safely. Go Midas.
Are you ready to hit the road?
Can a wider track broaden your horizon?
Do you wish life would throw a few more curves your way? Is the right offer the cure for hesitation?
Are you ready for something you've always wanted?
Then get to the Pontiac Hit the Road Summer Sell Down for 0% APR financing or $1,000 cash back on any 99 wide track Grand Prix.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement.
See your dealer today.
What are you waiting for?
Met fans, a reminder, on Monday, July 26th, Benny Agbayani will be at the Mets Clubhouse Shop in the Menlo Park Mall in New Jersey. He'll be on hand to meet fans, sign autographs from 11:30 until 1:30. Benny Agbayani, the Mets Clubhouse Shop, Menlo Park, this coming Monday. You'll love meeting him. Good guy. Kevin Tapani. Tapani grounded out his first time up. Top of the order, Morandini and Houston to follow. Gary Thorne, Tom Seaver. And our crew on hand here at Shea, where the Cubs have the 3-1 lead. Sosa's homer holding up so far. Breaking ball misses 2-0.
I know we're talking earlier in the day, in the evening here, Gary, about the trade for Kenny Rogers. And a lot of times, Steve Phillips, the general manager, and Bobby Valentine, they're very opinionated, both of them. And they're not always on the same page. Steve Phillips thinks that in the trade that they made, that Terrence Long, who's the AAA player outfielder, has got a chance to be a player, an everyday player in the big leagues. And then Bobby Valentine says, well, he's a 24-year-old AAA player that doesn't have that much power. He's only got 14 home runs and 47 RBIs in AAA. So he doesn't think he'll be a good player. Whether Bobby Valentine was trying to sell the trade in the sense that they did not give anybody up, that's what he was trying to do. I've seen Long play a couple times, and he looks like he's going to be a pretty good player.
Yeah, he's played with the Mets a couple of times.
Yep.
Put up pretty good numbers. Tapani retired, Yoshi's 4th K.
And the other part of it, too, that you got to look at, when you're making trades and you're talking about players, and you say this player is going to be a player in the big leagues. They're the numbers on Terrence Long in the bottom, the one we're talking about, 326, 7 home runs, and 47 RBIs in Norfolk. Is that player going to be a player in a first division team or a second division team? Is he going to be a player on a pennant or contending for a pennant team? And that's a big issue. There's Steve Phillips. So when they say, yeah, he's going to play in the big leagues, he's a big league player. But what they don't say is where is he going to play?
Ray Ordonez, patently made, makes the throw, got him. Nicky Morandini retired by Ray Ordonez.
We talked about it the very first inning. Now they make the difficult play look easy. Ordonez getting down, making sure that he gets the ball in the heart of that glove. Great balance, up on his feet, and a strike to first base. They don't get any better than that.
Here's Tyler Houston with 2 down. Absolutely right, Tom. I think a lot of fans forget that. There are a lot of teams out there willing to make deals for players who they know are not going to be, and I put in quotes, winning players, guys who are going to contend, be on contending teams. Because there are a lot of clubs out there right now who are just hoping to hang around 500 and maybe get their system going, get players for some year in the future. Mets, of course, not one of those teams. They want guys who are out to win now. Swung on a miss. Good off-speed pitch by Yoshi. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That was Steve Phillips with Eddie Lynch. Eddie Lynch saying, yeah, when you're in a pennant race, that's why he went out and got Rick Aguilera. When he got Aguilera, the Cubs had a chance to compete for that National League Central. They're in last place in the Central Division right now, but they had to get Aguilera, and Rod Beck went down.
Now Beck's back.
Yep. But Eddie Lynch, his theory, as so many of the clubs have, when you're in contention, you invest. When you're out of contention, you divest. And that's why players with salaries move. That's why you will hear Albert Bell's name around all the way up through Saturday.
Yep.
The Baltimore Orioles want to dump it. $65 million bucks, they want to dump it.
Team that's going to finish way at the bottom.
Yeah.
Who's willing to take on that in hopes of winning with Albert Bell?
Somebody will.
Somebody will.
Yep, somebody will.
2 ball, 2 strikes. Tyler Houston, 2 down. And the pitch is low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yoshi has walked 2 and struck out 4. The Cubs, 3 runs, 5 hits off him. Grace waiting if Houston can get on here with 2 away. Yoshi with a 3-2 delivery. Tyler Houston will foul it back. Bear in mind what Tom mentioned earlier, and that is that the trading deadline is Saturday. You've got to make deals by Saturday if you want the players you get to be eligible for postseason play. This is where you're going to get the hired guns, who are going to be traded and purchased. Go after guys for the short term, often now in Major League Baseball, the teams that are contending. 3-2 pitch, and he walked it. And that will give Grace an at-bat. 3 walks by Yoshi. 2 of those have been to Houston. Yeah, we say Saturday. I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm talking about a week from Saturday.
A week from tomorrow, yeah.
Last day of the month. So Mike Grace. Grace already has a single and a double. He's got a 6-game hit streak. He gets on base. He is 6th in runs. He and Sosa lead the Cubs in runs scored, as you might expect. And Grace fouls the pitch off.
Now, we just talked about the important out in a ball game last inning for Tapani, and this is one right here from Masato Yoshii. This is a very important out. One for 2 reasons. 2 outs. Sammy Sosa in the on-deck circle. Grace gets on. You pitch to Sosa again with mid on base, and potentially a crusher.
Right field, hit well. Cedeno back with room, makes the catch. Mike Grace gave it a ride, but Cedeno was there to haul it in, so he got the big out and did not have to face Sosa this inning.
Nice shot.
You! Give me that import!
Oh, skunky beer's not for drinking. Brew Refresh Budweiser is.
Are you sure you're okay?
I've never been better.
Summer's the best time to get out and see the sights. And you can really get out there this year with the Jeep Summer of Fun going on now. Head for the sun in a new Cherokee Sport for only $269 a month with 0 down and $764 due at signing. Or take off in a new Wrangler, now with the no-charge automatic on select models. But the Summer of Fun is only for a limited time. So see your Jeep dealer today, before these incredible deals are just another memory.
Freedom. Control. Just you and your laptop. Log on to autobytel.com for dealer cost info, reviews, and a low, no-haggle price. Autobytel.com. The road to your next car.
Want more copies of the hottest new releases guaranteed? Just come inside.
Guaranteed this week, 8mm starring Nicolas Cage. A Civil Action starring John Travolta. Sees all that with Freddie Prinze Jr. All guaranteed to be there at Blockbuster Video.
So go to Blockbuster and go home happy.
Well, bear in mind the franchise goes back to 1876. Our new Dodge trivia question, the 3 nicknames before they settled on Cubs, what were they? The White Stockings, of course, after the Reds, the Colts, and what would be really politically incorrect in this day and age, the Chicago Orphans. The Chicago Orphans. Good idea, Cubs. Benny Agbayani takes the pitch inside. A 1-ball, 1-strike count at Agbayani. They, of course, could not be the White Stockings for those reasons you just saw. 1-2 count at Agbayani. Would have had the red legs and the white stockings. Sounds like a Broadway play. 1-2 and a chopper foul.
The red legs and the white stockings go to lunch with Bob and Head Dollman. How's that? If you want something from Broadway that's as cheesy as it gets,
that's cheesy.
That's it. Just put Bob and Head Doll in it. There's not enough cheese in the fridge to cover that recipe there.
How could they not have considered the Bob and Head Doll nickname? A 2-ball, 2-strike count. Benny Agbayani leading it off. There you see the Bob and Head Doll fan club on hand, and there's Tom Seaver's response. They've already crossed him out. Bob and Head Doll man riding high. Soon he'll be signing autographs too. 3-2 to Agbayani. 2 by Tapani. Right field, Sammy Sosa, long run in the corner. Agbayani's got an extra base hit. That'll be a ground rule double. So Agbayani's got the bat going again, and the Mets have the leadoff man on again.
Yeah, here's situation 3-2. Who gets the advantage? Obviously the hitter. We've said it so many times and seen it so many times. Not really a bad pitch. A good job by Agbayani not trying to pull the ball, going with it. Agbayani does have excellent power. He doesn't have Sammy Sosa power to the opposite field, but he has excellent power to the opposite field.
So Agbayani picks up his 6th double. Mets have had the leadoff man on in 3 of the 5 innings and have scored only 1 run. Ray Ordonez taking for a strike. Ordonez has had just 3 hits in his last 23 at-bats. He has had prolonged hitting streaks and then gone into prolonged slumps his young career. And that one to left center field towards the gap. Diving, what a play! Oh, Henry! Oh, they got a chance for 2, but they won't get it. That's worth more than a candy bar. Rodriguez, a magnificent parallel to the ground catch, robs the Mets of a run.
You will see that play on every highlight film baseball puts together for next year. That's as good as it gets. Agbayani was all the way to third base. And if the outfielders here knew that they had any idea, look at Agbayani going, he can't believe the ball was caught. There was no place really for Agbayani to go and/or take his eye off the ball. With nobody out, he's got to stay there and be able to tag up and get to third base in that exact situation. That ball hits the ground, he's going to score easily anyway.
Towards third, way in was Houston, makes the play and gets Yoshi. And again, Agbayani can't move.
Obviously, Houston way in looking for the bunt off of Masato Yoshi. Looking way in on the grass. He may have done that on his own. And/or Bobby Valentine took it off. What a play in left field by Rodriguez. Holy mackerel.
You talk about an inning breaker, big rally breaker. I mean, that would have been a double, a run. It would have been a runner at second at a 3-2 game with 1 out, with nobody out. Instead, he makes this play, 1 down, runner at second. Henry Rodriguez. Cedeno, a chopper towards first. Mark Grace. This isn't a Kevin Tapani game. I don't know what is. Spectacular play by Rodriguez ends a potential Mets big inning. They do not score.
Taxi! Stop! Hey, somebody call 911! Hey, is this your truck?
Yeah.
Come on. Get a Toyota Tacoma 4x4. You can't get a more powerful V6, and with up to $1,300 in option package discounts, it's a steal. So's the Tacoma 4x2, rated best overall value of the year.
You okay?
I'm good, but officer, is that your car?
Yeah.
Come on.
Il formaggio è troppo morbido. The cheese is too soft.
Il formaggio è troppo morbido. The cheese is too soft.
Ciao.
New York Lotto. Will you be ready if it happens to you?
Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Now at Pep Boys, all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for only $99, and all 70,000-mile tires 4 for $169.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
We're with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th crew members of Team 10-10-345 to help you remember that with 10-10-345, all long-distance calls from home within New York or New Jersey are just 7 cents a minute.
Hey, old bogey!
No, that's not, guys.
Hey, what are you doing?
Guys, Rich is here. Guys, oh, heck, I'll do it myself. With 10-10-345, all calls from home within New York or New Jersey are just 7 cents a minute. Dial 10-10-345 and save today. Be careful on the curves.
Get away from it all with the best lease deals of the year on Mercury Mountaineer. Just announced the summer's hottest leases on the loaded to the roof rack Mountaineer with Mercury value packaging. That's leather and power moonroof, a $1,750 value at no additional charge. All for nearly $4,000 less than Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited when you buy. Give the crowd the slip in the all-wheel drive V8 Mountaineer and get away with it all. The best leases of the year on Mountaineer. Imagine yourself in a Mercury.
The WB11 News at 10 special live team coverage of the Kennedy tragedy continues right after tonight's game. John County Tong, Jim Watkins for complete details on today's private memorial service held in Manhattan. That's right here in the WB11 News at 10 immediately following our game. Sammy's up. His 3-run homer in the first inning has accounted for all of the Cub runs. Struck out his last time up. And takes the pitch inside. One-0 delivery. Strike on the outside corner.
If you look at those last two pitches, the fastball up and in and then the fastball away for a strike, what they did not do, Yoshi, in the first inning, was to throw the ball inside to Sosa before they went away.
Pretty good leadoff hitter. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Inside again, 2-1. Sammy Sosa threatening to put up another magnificent season of 400-plus total bases. If he can do it, and he did it last year, he will become just the 4th player ever to have consecutive years 400-plus total bases. Chuck Klein, Lou Gehrig, and Jimmy Fox, the only others ever to do it. And he is on a pace right now for about 410. Piece of Hunter Wendelstedt on that foul ball. Pretty good piece.
Had a pretty good piece of two of them there, didn't it?
Oof. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Sosa. The Dominican flag in evidence throughout Shea Stadium tonight. She's 2-2 delivery to him. Fly ball, right field. Cedeno got Rome.
Where do you think that ball is in Wrigley Field?
2 streets over.
I tell you, that would be number 36 if we were playing in Wrigley Field. He just, and I mean by an eyelash, missed hitting that ball about 475 feet. And that is a dead home run in Wrigley Field. Here, a big, long, tall out. Boy, that's it. So indicative of what can happen in that Chicago ballpark and when you go on the road. And he knew it. He was not running. He knew that ball was not going to be a home run.
He's got 19 on the road and 16 at home. However, the Cubs play the vast majority of the second half at home. They played a lot of road games.
And that is when the wind blows out in Chicago. And heat coming off the Great Plains, travels north and blows out over the Great Lakes. That's when the ball flies in Chicago.
2-0 count.
Well, did he think he had it? You remember the jump in the first time he hit the home run coming out of the box? That little signature jump that he has when he knows he's got a home run, it wasn't there.
Henry Rodriguez, who made that great catch, fouls that one off. A 2-ball, 1-strike count. Rodriguez 0 for 2, 9-game hit streak for Rodriguez coming into tonight's game. Sammy with 35 major league leading home runs. Certainly looks like he'll get over 60 again. And that's all new Virgin territory. Outside 3-1. Mark McGuire's actually got a better home run per at-bat, per plate appearance ratio going this year. Sammy's third. Bagwell is second in home run ratio. Rodriguez on a check swing. Ouch. McGuire gets one every 9.4 at-bats. Jeff Bagwell every 10.5 and Sosa every 10.7 coming into today's play. Boy, the McGuire-Sosa initiative from last year has indeed carried over.
Carried over, and can you imagine back-to-back 60 home run seasons? Back-to-back?
Unheard of for both of them.
And King Griffey's going to hit 50 this year.
Yep.
He's right behind him.
Rodriguez picks up the walk. Yoshi has now walked 4 in the game.
There are the numbers on Yoshi here in the 6th inning. 96 pitches, 54 strikes, 42 balls. A lot of pitches on a hot night. And only into the 6th inning.
Talking about home runs, Tom. Home runs are up this year 10% from last year. I saw a number just startling on how much home runs have increased in Major League Baseball. In the 1980s, the whole 80s. Drill hard to right field. That's going to be a base hit for Jeff Reed. Turn going to second, ball bobbled by Cedeno. Wouldn't have had a play anyway. Reed is on with a single, and the Cubs have runners at first and third with one down. Reed hit it hard. In the 1980s, there were, take a look at the base hit, there were 40 home runs 13 times in the 80s. Last year, 13 players hit 40 home runs last year. And I was looking before the game tonight. There are about 16 players who have a legitimate shot this year at hitting the 40-plus home run total.
And I thought home runs would go down.
I did too.
I thought because of the strike zone, if they were going to change the strike zone, I thought numbers of home runs would go down.
Looks like he may have pulled a muscle in the ribcage area. Rodriguez, I wouldn't be surprised if that came from the catch in the outfield. And he's going to come out of the game.
And it looked like it bothered him when he was running around second base. When he was heading around second base, it didn't look like he was comfortable running the bases.
It took him a while to get up after he made that catch in the outfield, and he really had to stretch to do it on that Ordonez play right here. That may have been what happened. Came down hard as well. And after he threw the ball, he stayed down, waited a minute as though he might have been hurting. So Manny Alexander, the former Met, will come on and run, and there is Rodriguez coming out of the game.
Yep,
hanging onto that side.
Yep, right rib, yeah. Banged it. He banged an elbow into it.
Still runners at first and third. Jose Hernandez 1 for 2 with a single. 3-1 Cubs lead. They have 6 hits. And a strike on the outside corner.
Take a look at Rodriguez from first base. Now that ball right by him, he had to jump out of that. It looked to me like right there. Nope, he looked clean going around second. Somewhere something's barking in that rib cage of his.
It's out of the game. High ball hit foul by Jose Hernandez.
Getting back to those home runs here, I thought number of home runs would go down because the strike zone was going to get bigger, higher. You're going to get more strikes. One of the things that I've seen, and you hear it from Eddie Lynch to Steve Phillips across the board, up and down in baseball. So many 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 counts where the hitters get the advantage. And you're still getting a lot of home runs.
0-2 count, big out here, and that's going to be a base hit. Hernandez delivers an RBI single. Manny Alexander scores, and the Cubs now have a 4-1 lead. Hernandez comes through. That was the same pitch he fouled off before. That went up around his eyeballs. Hernandez with 59 runs batted, 37 rather runs batted in.
Well, Yoshi closing in on that 100 pitch level. And that's just about his limit. He is at 100 to 110 pitcher, and he's used them all already, just with one out here in the 6th inning. Up and out over the plate. When fatigue sets in, it's up and out over the plate, and that may be it for Masato Yoshii. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, walking slowly, and the left arm points to the bullpen.
So the Mets, who still do not have a complete game, won't have one here either. And Yoshii will be coming out of there. 7-7 mark. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by 10-10-3-4-5.
Just what the hell did you do to those sharks?
We used gene therapies to increase their brain mass. As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
She screwed with the sharks, and now the sharks are screwing with us.
What happens if she escapes? The oceans would be theirs.
Feeding time.
Deep Blue Sea, rated R. Starts Wednesday, July 28th at a theater near you.
To make shopping less scattered, Simon simply puts it all together. To make shopping more sensible, Simon simply gives you better choices. To make shopping a bigger bargain, Simon simply adds extra value. And to make shopping feel good, Simon simply makes it fun. Simply Simon. Simply the best shopping there is.
I always felt there was a calling either to be a teacher or a police officer. I knew that whatever I had to do in life, whatever career I chose, it was going to be for the people. The satisfaction that I get being a police officer is knowing that I made that person smile, or I helped that person that day, and I was there for that person when they needed someone. And that's what you go home with. That's pride. That's what being a police officer is all about. I'm very proud to walk on with that uniform on. I've earned it. I put a lot of sweat, studying, not so much tears, pain, aches and pains from the academy, but it was all worth it on that day. I think a lot more female officers should be out there lending a hand for all those other young females who are not quite sure what it is that they want to do. Maybe they'll see that, hey, I could do it too.
Let's check out the CNET upcoming Mets schedule. Tomorrow and Sunday, Cubs stay here. The Mets take on Pittsburgh Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be joining you again on the WB11 next Friday, as the Mets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will play at Chicago at Wrigley. We'll have all of those games right here. Rigo Beltran out of the pen. Beltran last performed, Tom, on the 18th against Baltimore.
And once again, not a complete game for the New York Mets. The only club in the big leagues not to have one.
With all these lefties in the lineup for the Cubs, the left-hander comes on to face the number 8 hitter, Curtis Goodwin.
I've got a quickie quiz for you, looking at these numbers. You ready?
All right.
How many complete games? We're talking about the Mets not having any complete games. How many complete games do Cleveland Indians have?
Probably 5.
1.
I know it wouldn't be many.
That jumped out at me.
They've struggled with their starters.
You know how many Baltimore has? 11.
Baltimore's got 11?
Yeah.
And Erickson must have what?
Erickson and Messina. They got those two guys, huh?
Yep. 1-1 to Goodwin. Runners at first and second with 1 out.
You and I were talking about before the game about the Kenny Rogers trade. He has 3 complete games. But they need a guy, the staff, the New York Mets staff, needs a guy to eat up innings. And we've talked about it. You've got to get beyond this 6th inning, or this bullpen is going to be dead by the middle of August. When they play in this heat, it's a lot different when you're pitching 4 or 5 times a week in this heat. It's not just the pitches, it's the warming up. The times you got to throw in the bullpen. And it will take its toll by the middle of August.
First and second occupied by the Cubs. And that one's down low from Beltran. I agree. I think of all the things Kenny Rogers brings, it's the fact he's been a workhorse in his career. Is number 1.
He can give you innings. He can get you to that 8th inning.
Yep. 109-77 career numbers. Ordonez, Alfonso, relay, not in time. Holding up at third base is Reed. Goodwin, who's already into one double play, hit the ball hard the first time, not quite hard enough here.
The high bounce to Ray Ordonez, and not this time. Goodwin last time bounced it in the 6-4-3, and you can see the high hop, and that prevented it. Goodwin runs very well. So the Cubs end up with 2 outs and runners on first and third.
Great double play combination. They'll exchange signs with the right-handed hitter up. Alfonso relays the sign to Ray Ordonez. And a strike taken on the inside corner. It's Kevin Tapani, who's 0 for 2. 1 hit, 31 at-bats on the year for Tapani. So he shut the Mets down on a run on 4 hits so far. Tapani has 1 complete game this year for the Chicago Cubs. Foul tipped that one. Cubs have 4 complete games on the year. Picked up a couple from Steve Traxel, who will pitch in this series. Tapani, as we said, with 1, and Lieber has the other. Traxel's going tomorrow against Octavio Dotel, and then Dan Serafini, who's been plugged into that starting rotation, will take on Al Leiter Sunday night. ESPN game at 8 o'clock here at Shea. Tomorrow's a 1:15 start. Tapani, 1 ball, 2 strike count. Swung on and missed. Gatsa goes to Olerud, and that'll do it. So Beltran comes on and gets the strikeout. All of the runs will be charged to the starter, Yoshi. 4 of those against him on 7 hits.
No matter where your vacation plans take you this season, there's no better place to start than at the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summer of Fun event. Now you can head for the sun with a 0 down, $369 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo lease with only $864 due at signing. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives could save you more on every Grand Cherokee. So hurry to your Jeep dealer for an incredible $369 a month lease today, before these great savings are just another memory.
It's time for E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online.
Select road. Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires take control.
I test drove Corolla, the Honda Civic, and I saw the Elantra. It's a better deal all the way around.
This summer, we're celebrating our best value yet, the Hyundai Elantra. The Elantra comes with tons of features, like America's Best Warranty, air conditioning, power package, and cruise control. All for just $11,549 with automatic transmission. So hurry, America's Best Value summer sale won't last long. During the summer sale, get the Hyundai Elantra for just $11,549.
Let's check our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. Philadelphia won game 1 as they came from behind. Game 2 tied at 1 in the 3rd inning. Braves leading the Mets by 2 starting the day. Montreal got a victory over Pittsburgh tonight. Milwaukee leading in Florida. Houston, San Diego finished up that game that was suspended earlier. San Diego ahead in the second one as well. Later starts. Edgardo Alfonzo will lead it off here against Kevin Tapani, who's gone the distance. David Cohn gave up a grand slam to Cleveland in that game. Toronto, wow, are they hot. Texas romping on Tampa Bay. Alfonso takes a strike. Edgardo 0 for 2.
Toronto's creeped up there right behind Boston, huh?
Boston's really struggling now, and Toronto suddenly is in the wild card race. Boston will be playing in Toronto next week. Pitchers take it inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs leading this one by a score of 4-1. Hall of Fame weekend. We haven't had a chance to talk to you about that. Rodriguez out of the ball game. We'll get a new left fielder. And that one drilled right out there. So Edgardo Alfonso kicks it off. Lead-off single. 3 innings in a row, the Mets have had the lead-off man on. 13-game hit streak for Edgardo Alfonso. Manny Alexander's come into the ballgame to play at short. That's why you saw Hernandez out there in left field. There's former Met Manny Alexander. And Hernandez goes from short to left. Now John Olerud. Mets have 5 hits off Kevin Tapani. Tom will be heading up for the Hall of Fame festivities at Cooperstown tomorrow.
Spectacular weekend.
Yeah, it's just...
Yep. It always is.
It'll be indescribable.
People say, well, it's going to be a great weekend. It's always a great weekend, always a spectacular weekend. But this class is exceptional. This is Nolan Ryan, of course, being inducted on Sunday after his great career. This against Rico Carty in the playoffs in 1969. Gil brought him in and said, here you go, hit it if you can. He was very special then. He was a guy, we had guys in that club that could throw hard, and he was just an ounce above everybody. And on days, more than an ounce. And kept it, that velocity, for such a long time. Longevity was amazing. His ability to throw the ball hard for so long was incredible.
You won't be spending any time with Nolan this weekend, I'm assuming.
Probably rub elbows with Nolan and Ruth, yep.
3-1 to Olerud. Tapani has not walked anybody and has struck out 1. Just seeing all those people in one place, Tom. I mean, in Boston at the All-Star game was magnificent. Team of the century. See all those Hall of Famers. Olerud's got a base hit to center. Good one up with it. And the Mets have it going. 2 for 3 for Olerud.
Talking about Nolan Ryan, the World Series. Gil Hodges on the right. Great Mr. Hodges. Talking to Nolan and Jerry Grody and Paul Blair coming up. And boom, the curveball. That was one of the 10,000 strikeouts in no matter. Well, the Mets have got it going right in the middle of their order here. We're talking about Masato Yoshii. He threw 100 pitches, and how long can you stand it in this heat? Very hot and humid tonight. A little breeze around, but a little hot and humid. And you get in the middle of this Met lineup, and they can play catch-up very quickly.
Quiet Chicago Cub bullpen. Kevin Tapani worked 7 innings in his last start in a loss to Kansas City. Gave up 5 runs, 7 hits. Tapani against Piazza. 2 on and nobody out here in the 6th inning. Breaking ball for a strike. He's had Piazza fooled in the first 2 at-bats. Even though he got a single, it was an infield single in the 2nd inning, scoring the Mets' only run so far in the game. Alfonso's at 2nd, Olerud's at 1st. Piazza 2nd on the Mets in RBIs to Robin Ventura. He'll take a timeout as Tapani will step off. 273 with runners in scoring position for the Mets catcher. He's having a big month of July. 0-1 inside, gut jam. Boy, Tapani's made some nasty pitches. Manny Alexander, the shortstop with the infield 5 rule in effect. 1 down.
Yeah, it's such great bat speed. I think he thought he was going to get to it. You can see I didn't get that bat head around. And look at the position of the ball. Location. Down. Oh, he just missed it again. He did just miss that again. He opened up. Watch the left hip. Come off, open up. That ball is right there in the hitting zone. He can't believe it. 2 in a row. Last time down the right field line, that one, and that was right in his wheelhouse. Down and in.
Tapani had set him up for that, hadn't he, in the first 2 at-bats, by going away?
I would think so. Away, and if he had pitched him in and up off the plate before that.
And a breaking ball strike, Robin Ventura, and here goes Tapani again. That's trying to find a way to get to him when they've got guys on. Robin Ventura, Hernandez, and Manny Alexander left and short talking to each other about where to play. particularly in left field. Manny Alexander helping Hernandez in left. Manny Alexander's the one getting the signs here first on what's going to be thrown, so he can turn around to Hernandez, give him a little clue on where he ought to be, if he ought to move or not. See him checking behind him to see where he's playing. 0-2 count. In the dirt all the way to the screen. There's a big wild pitch with a one down.
The no ball and one strike pitch to Robin Yount. He did not pick it up. It must have been the splitter. That's the only thing that I can think of. And here, 0-2, the splitter. You may want to live by it, but you can dive with that pitch because you don't have full control over it. Look at that. About 59 feet. You may live with it, but there is that situation where you get yourself and throw a wild pitch, get yourself out of a double play situation as a pitcher, and the Mets get a break there.
Third wild pitch he's thrown. Now Ventura with a 1-ball, 2-strike count, and first base open. Ventura, ferocious hitter against Tapani, and he got fooled. Third base. And Houston tried to barehand it. Houston thought Manny Alexander, the shortstop, was moving in behind him and drifted away from the ball. That should be an error.
They have not been a good defensive ball club, and that is just miscommunication. Not only did they catch a break, the New York Mets, they missed just getting a big break by about 3 or 4 inches. That was almost a fair ball.
It is an error charge to Houston to keep this at-bat alive. Hernandez in left field wasn't even close. But Manny Alexander, the shortstop, had started out that way. Ventura gets a new life to second base. Morandini will get the out, but a run will score. Alfonso crosses, and it is a 4-2 game. So Tapani had to get Ventura twice, and did.
Well, a break there for the Mets. We'll go back to the important outs in the ball game, 5 of them. And here it is again, runner on third, 2 outs, and a 2-run ball game.
Brian McRae grounded out. Last at bat, Olerud's on, foul back. McRae had a runner on in the 4th inning at second and grounded out. He got an RBI and a ground ball out in the 2nd inning with runners at second and third. Both of the Mets runs off Tapani have been ground ball outs. Fastball just missed inside, 1-1. He is amazing. He really guts a game out. It's not easy the way he works a ball game. Always runners on base, but he doesn't walk people. That saves him if anything does. He gives up only 2.2 walks per 9 innings, tied for the 6th best in the National League. Because if he walked anybody, it would be history.
Old school, make him hit it. You're a ground ball pitcher, single ball pitcher, which he is. Just don't walk him, make him put it in play.
Inside to McRae, 3-1.
Digging himself a hole here, Agbayani in the on-deck circle.
Bullpen action. Jim Riggleman on the phone, the skipper of the Cubs. Tapani has given up the 2-run 6 hits. He hasn't walked anybody and has struck out 1. And he walks his first batter. Unless he's had somebody warming up underneath, this is just a draw time for the bullpen. He's going to set up an infield meeting here. Sanders, Heredia, both up now. Heredia, that's the first toss he's made. Sanders has thrown only about 4 or 5 times.
Now, this meeting may be just a clarification because of that pop fly that was misplayed in the inning already. They're getting a little reminder education on the infield about what everybody's job in this situation is going to be. I don't know if he went out there and talked to Tapani or not. You could see him when he called the second baseman, Mickey Morandini, in. That was addressed as much to the infield as it was to the pitcher about what to do in a situation if McRae takes off and stops halfway to second, if Valentine tries to steal a run, as it were.
And the Agbayani takes it down low for a ball. They're looking for McRae to run. You talk about holes in the infield. There's John Olerud, the lead runner. McRae at first. Now Grace is holding. Look where Morandini, the second baseman, is. He's all the way over. The shortstop, Alexander's way over. They're squeezing the middle on Agbayani. Fouled it off, 1-1. Another big out coming up here as Riggleman paces. Can Tapani get out number 3? 2 down. 10 in his first 73, 1 in his last 79. Will McRae go? 1-1? No.
I don't think he goes, Gary. I think you're in a situation where you know you've got a pitcher who is up around that 100 pitch count on a hot night, and you're one mistake away from taking the lead. If you do send him, you're not going to send him until you get at least 2 strikes.
McRae leading off first, not running. Agbayani got jammed again, and Tapani's missing now. 3-1. Those pitches he was getting on the corners earlier in the game, he's not getting anymore.
Your point earlier about not walking people, when a guy that does not walk people like Kevin Tapani begins to walk people, fatigue is setting in. And you got a guy that can pop the ball out of the ballpark with one swing.
3-1. There's the one to center field. Good one. Can't get it. And it goes by. All the way to the wall. Olerud scores. Coming around is McRae. He'll score. Agbayani a triple.
Cut it off, hit too hard by Vinny Agbayani, who runs very well for a big man. And easily into third base, and just like that, a couple of more runs. 25 RBIs for Agbayani. It's his 3rd triple. It is 4-4. Agbayani represents the go-ahead run at 3rd. Ray Ordonez takes a strike. Each team now 4 runs, 7 hits. And Jim Riggleman did not have anybody up to bring in to face Agbayani. And Ordonez, the short hop, Manny Alexander makes the play on the fly. But the Mets do damage as they pick up 3 runs in the 6th inning. Agbayani with a 2 RBI triple and come back to tie this game up at 4.
Only a daring diva and a sharp-dressed man can stop this fashion emergency.
You are under arrest for wearing leather in the summer.
Okay. On the next Hercules.
Tomorrow night at 9 on the WB11.
Yeah. Be there in 10. Bye. Okay. Ready, time to go.
LS. The next big thing from Saturn.
Whoa, ready.
Investors who expect value love Waterhouse Web Broker, where you can trade up to 5,000 shares for a low flat rate of only $12 for all equity orders, market or limit, listed or NASDAQ. You'll also receive free real-time quotes and charts, free online investment information, including S&P stock reports, Zacks earnings estimates, and Morningstar mutual fund performance data. In addition, you automatically receive a free asset management account, all for just $12 per trade. So visit one of our more than 160 branch offices nationwide, or call this number now. You'll also receive our free Investor's Guide to Online Investing. Waterhouse Securities, where investors who expect value feel right at home.
Benny, right on time. Met fans, Monday, July 26th. Benny Agbayani will be at the Mets clubhouse shop, Menlo Park in New Jersey. He'll be on hand to meet fans, sign autographs, and run out a triple from 11:30 to 1:30. Don't miss him. Benny Agbayani, the Mets clubhouse shop, Menlo Park, this coming Monday. And Benny, why not? I'll tell you something. Benny's mom, great family. His mom, wonderful lady, supplied some chocolates. And if you've ever had chocolates from Hawaii with the macadamia nuts and, oh, I want to tell you, I got in on those tonight. They were downstairs in the office. It's one you put those boxes on the desk, and every time you go by, you open it up, take one. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I didn't hear you calling me, my boy.
You weren't anywhere
You probably
around.
fed one to Bobbinhead Dollman. Got one for him, right?
Bobbinhead Dollman can't eat that stuff. He's got soft teeth.
Yeah.
Looks like that's going to be it for Beltran. As they were waiting, the Mets were waiting to see whether or not there'd be a pinch hitter for the leadoff batter, Mickey Morandini. Since none was named at the time, Rigo Beltran will come out, having pitched 2 3/3 of an inning, striking out 1, and didn't give up anything. So Beltran out of there. This call to the bullpen brought to you by 10-10-345.
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. Now the best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. New Lamisil AT. Strength. Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance. A study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in new Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
Nicoderm CQ, what brought this on?
Last night.
Dad, when the baby comes, leave the cigarettes at home, okay?
We didn't quit for our kids. We didn't know what we know now. Look, I talked to some guys who quit. CQ helped them do it. The 3 gradual steps. You step down your dose. The doc says gradual's the way to go.
Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
They say fruit is good for your body.
Everybody loves fruit.
Natural fruit, wild fruit, peeling fruit, warm bodies, cool bodies.
Everybody loves fruit.
Everybody. Fruit of the Loom. You wear it. Get it? The new t-shirt collection from Fruit. Every style, every color, even the classic white. Everybody loves fruit tees. It's not just underwear. Go out and grab a bunch.
Don't forget, immediately following tonight's game, Joy County Tong and Jim Watkins for complete coverage of the JFK Jr. Carolyn Bessette private memorial service in Manhattan. That's coming up right after our game tonight on the WB11 News at 10. Chase Stadium, Gary Thorne, Tom Seaver, 4-4 ball game as we go to the 7th inning, and on comes the lefty, Dennis Cook.
There you see the numbers. 46th appearance for Dennis Cook. A workhorse. 7-2, 2.8 earned run average. He has worked 44 innings and given up just 25 hits, 14 walks, and a very good 49 strikeouts. Like the entire staff down there in that bullpen, the bullpen staff, they will see their ball games. Number 1 in appearances is Turk Wendell from New York. Number 2, Armando Benitez in the National League. And here for Cook, his 46th appearance. Benitez with 49 and Wendell with 51.
Mickey Morandini will stay on. The left-handed hitter. We mentioned no switch hitters on the Chicago roster. Morandini in the leadoff spot tonight. And Cook comes on in a 4-4 game. So Masato Yoshii, the Mets starter, non-decision. 6 1/3, 4 runs, 7 hits, walked 4, and struck out 4. And Morandini looks at a pitch down low. Morandini's hit just 178 off left-handers. Henry Rodriguez did leave the game with a bruised rib. Alvin Mora, like he's playing hockey. 1-0 delivery and a ground at a short. Ray Ordonez in the dirt. Good scoop by Allure. One away, 7th inning. Morandini out of there, 0 for 4 for the Cubs leadoff batter. We'll be right back at you next weekend from Chicago on the WB11. We will have the Chicago series from Wrigley Field. Always fun. Day games coming up there Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the WB11 next weekend. Jeff Blauser now will come on as the pinch hitter for Tyler Houston.
You're going to take a couple of wool coats to Chicago in case the...
Trouble with going to Chicago is you never know if you need to wear a pair of swim trunks or a wool coat. And you may need them both on the same day.
Yeah, that chance to be pretty warm there.
Yeah. Bobby Valentine, we'll see a lot of the Cubs here over the next week. 3-game series here and then on to Chicago next weekend. Jeff Blauser, the pinch hitter, takes it outside for a ball. Blauser's had a good offensive year for the Chicago Cubs. He was injured a lot last year. He's hitting .283, 7 homers, 19 RBIs. And Blauser takes a strike from Cook. Not good numbers against Dennis Cook in his career. Blauser's hit successfully in his last 3 games that he's appeared in. Has a pair of pinch hit home runs this year off Pittsburgh. One off Darryl Kyle in Colorado. 1 ball, 2 strike count. That's another name floating around. A lot of clubs interested in Kyle out there in Colorado, where they've had a very disappointing year. So disappointing, Jimmy Leland's name has even come up as a manager's job might be in jeopardy. There's your 200-game career winner, Oral Hershiser, doing a little charting. He is not going to be pitching in this series. Blauser. Tom, that's interesting. The Mets do not have the next day pitcher charting a game. Usually the guy who pitched before.
Usually they do, as a norm.
Agree with that? Did you chart games the day before you would pitch?
Up through about my 10th year, and then I gave it to a rookie.
Yeah, didn't matter after that.
Take some young pitcher and give him a reason to watch every pitch.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Cook on the way to Blauser outside. Theory has been with most clubs that you want the next day's pitcher charting in order to get to know who's in the lineup that he's going to face.
For about 10 years that I did. Yeah, I mean, that's the way we did it when Gil came over and Rube Walker.
Bobby Valentine doesn't follow that. Doesn't like to do that. Never has. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Swung on and missed. He chased that one. 2 down, 7th inning.
Fastball up and away. Boy, he works a lot. Dennis Cook does. And you can get you an inning and get you 2. That pitch you could see was about 4 or 5 inches off the plate. Mark Grace looking down at Robin Ventura. Now you remember Ventura played for so many years in Chicago. So when a player does that, Mark Grace looks down at Ventura, you know that's a buddy. That's a guy that you, somewhere along the line, have hung around with. And hey, don't play way back on me. I'll bunt on you. Got 2 outs. You can't play me that deeply here. Grace can't run a lick.
Not a lick.
Not a lick. And if I were managing and Mark Grace bunted in this situation, find him as much as I could.
Grace lifts that one to right field. Cedeno. Good inning for Cook. He retires the side in order. Dennis Cook on, setting him down. 7th inning stretch time here in Merengue Night at Shea.
resisted barbarians. Overpowered savages thwarted the uncivilized. And that was just on the drive to work. Chevy Blazer. Steel-reinforced double-wall doors, powerful Vortec engine. A little security in an insecure world. Chevy Blazer, like a rock.
You know, when things settle down around here, around 11:15, that's when I wish I could ask my bank about a home equity loan and get an instant answer. Maybe plan the twins' college fund. See if I can find a better deal on my car insurance. Well, of course, I couldn't do all that at the old bank. So, I got a new one.
If your bank could start over, this is what it would be. Wingspanbank.com.
How do businesses put the Bell Atlantic B2B into action? Say I'm a corporate party planner, and my client wants an Arctic theme party.
With real igloos.
With my B2B, anything's possible, even getting 2 tons of ice overnight.
And penguins.
Let's fly in those party animals. Cool. Almost forgot.
Water bumps.
Ever seen an igloo melt? The Bell Atlantic Business-to-Business Buying Guide, where business meets business.
If you strive for perfection, but do it without heart, your work will have no soul. If you embrace technology, but do it blindly, you may find less freedom, not more. If you drive one of the best cars, but think it could be better, you're not driving an RL from Acura.
There is Jeff Blauser, who stays in the ball game. He'll be playing at third base. Ricky Anderson is coming up for the Mets as a pinch hitter. He'll be pinch hitting for Dennis Cook. Bottom of the 7th inning. Barry Thorne, Tom Seaver, and our crew. Mets have battled back to tie this game up 4-4. They were down by as many as 3. Sammy Sosa and the home run in the first inning for them. Thence the break for Ricky Henderson. Big time numbers. And Henderson fouls that one back.
You were talking earlier, Gary, as we chatting about the Hall of Fame weekend coming up here, starting tomorrow, actually starting tonight. There's Turk Wendell getting loose in the Met bullpen. That fellow right there. We didn't talk about the other 2 guys, Yount and Brett. And there, Ricky Henderson, he'll be going in as soon as he gets out of baseball, passes at 5 years, with the numbers that he has put up. And he's talked about being so very proud of the number of runs that he has scored. Going past Willie Mays, huge accomplishment. He says, what you got to do is score runs to win, and that's what I've done well. And he's darn proud of it.
Great on-base percentage. Not this time, though. Mickey Morandini makes the play on him. And Henderson, as a pinch hitter, is retired. 1 away in the 7th inning. Boy, Ricky's putting up, I think, surprising numbers even for the Mets, what he's done this year. Roger Cedeno, he has struggled against Kevin Tapani, who stays in this ball game. Tapani is getting to fly out once, ground out, and strike him out. Batting .320 for Cedeno, 51 stolen bases, the league leader. Started to show bunt, takes it inside for a ball. In at third base, Jeff Blauser just came out to play there with Grace in front of first.
That fake bunt, such an important issue. As far as defense goes, when you think about the speed that Cedeno has, if he makes those corner infielders, the third baseman and the first baseman, shorten up just a fraction, just a half a step, he increases his chances of driving that ball by him, by the infielder. Grace has moved back now.
3-0. And that will bring Reed out to talk to Tapani, who really looks like he's working in a tank that's about empty. He gave up his first walk in the last inning when the Mets got to him for 3 runs on 3 hits. And by the way, all of those runs in the 6th inning were earned. Heredia is ready if needed in the bullpen. There was an error in that inning that kept Ventura's at bat alive, but Ventura did ground out. Then the walk to McRae and Benny Agbayani's tripled, so they would have scored anyway. 3-0 he takes, and he's on. So with one away, league's leading base stealer is on at first base. And the managers go to work.
It is just a matter of when. Has there been a play written, well, he's off to the races?
Could be right now. Edgardo Alfonso throw over. Tapani has got a quick move to the plate. Not a particularly strong pickoff move, but a good move to the plate, slide step. And Reed, the catcher, throws him out about 22% effective on the year at both Colorado and Chicago. It's below the major league average for catchers, which is about 29%. Alfonso, one strike count. Edgardo delivered a hit, 13-game hit streak for him now. He got a single and scored in the 6th inning, 1 for 3. Cedeno and Henderson in the top 5 in stolen bases in the National League. Grace holding at first. Towards the hole, base hit into left field. Hernandez up with it, and the Mets have 2 on, 1 down in the 7th. Second hit for Edgardo.
We talk about speed and what it does to a ball club. You saw when Cedeno was up how it shortened the infield, and what it does in that situation, more fastballs for Edgardo Alfonso. And that's why he's sitting in that number 2 spot. You will get a lot of fastballs when he's got Ricky Henderson and Roger Cedeno hitting in front of him.
So Kevin Tapani, who gave it a whirl, could not get through that 6th inning, and they got 3, and he's not going to get through here either. Tapani is out of the ball game. This call to the bullpen by 10-10, 3-4-5.
Zena journeys to India, where Gabrielle is transformed into Zena's worst nightmare.
Give Gabrielle back and give up this space.
On the next Zena, then fashion's the passion. Okay. Can one daring diva and a sharp-dressed man fix this fashion emergency?
Your career in the fashion world is over.
On the next Hercules. Tomorrow, starting at 8 on the WB11.
Select road. Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires take control.
Freedom. Control. Just you and your laptop. Log on to autobytel.com for dealer cost info, reviews, and a low, no-haggle price. Autobytel.com. The road to your next car.
This summer, put the bold new Cadillac Escalade to the test. And don't let anything stop you. Then put our lease to the test. Lease a new 99 Escalade for just $549 a month. Call for complete lease details. You'll even get a 3-year SmartCare basic maintenance contract at no extra charge. So drive an Escalade today and put Cadillac to the test.
This is the 23-year-old who started his career with the Florida Marlins. Felix Heredia comes on in this 4-4 game.
Well, Kevin Tapani leaves with a job well done. He had an outstanding defensive play in left field behind him, and then the foul pop that fell in behind the third baseman, which actually broke his back. And he turns it over to Felix Heredia. Heredia 3-0, 4.7 earned run average. His 42nd appearance for the Chicago Cubs, and he will face John Olerud.
Heredia has been real tough on left-handers in his young career. They're hitting just 206 off him in 269 at-bats. Left-handers, 206. 2 on, 1 down. Olerud, left-handed hitter. 1 for 3 off Heredia lifetime, takes the strike. John has a couple of hits. Had a couple of hits in last night's game. He's got 2 on here with 1 away in a 4-4 game.
This is a double-edged sword for the shortstop. You can see the shortstop behind Roger Cedeno. You want to hold the runner Cedeno because of his great speed, but you can't give Olerud that big hole between third and short. That's another situation where speed plays such a big factor.
And Heredia stayed inside on Olerud, way inside, and gotten strikes, 2 strikes on him.
As John Olerud goes to the left side, being a left-hand hitter as well as anybody in the game.
That's with the 1 away, looking for the lead right here. Alexander stays behind Cedeno with all that speed at second base. 0-2 delivery. Heredia went outside and just missed 1 and 2. Olerud hitting .264 off the left-handers this year, .320 off right-handers. Facing one of the toughest pitchers against left-handed hitters in the game right now. Heredia never lost a game since joining this team from Florida last year. He's 5-0 as a Cub out of the pen. 1-2 delivery. Outside, 2-2. Second time up for Scott Sanders. Beck's back, of course, in the bullpen now. Terry Adams, the closer of the future, is available, as is Rick Aguilera, who's done both setup and save work this year. 2-2. 3-2, so he had him 2 strikes. Now it's full. Piazza on deck. You better believe Piazza will not be facing Heredia.
Pretty good bet.
1 down. 3-2. Runners go. Left field line. Hernandez over, and he'll put it away in fair territory. 3-2. Fly ball out by Olerud, 2 down. So Heredia did what he was brought in to do. He'll be coming out of the game right now. Heredia gets the out. This call to the bullpen brought to you by 10-10-3-4-5. Piazza up when we come back.
Stressed out? Need to escape? How about a little road trip with Thelma and Louise?
Louise! Drive the car!
Susan Sarandon is a real hotshot. Her best friend Gina Davis is just a scream. And this vacation is a ride on the wild side.
You got that right.
The Academy Award winner that broke all the rules. Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon are Thelma and Louise. Sunday at 2:30 on the WB11.
Nicoderm CQ, what brought this on?
Last night.
Dad, when the baby comes, leave the cigarettes at home, okay?
We didn't quit for our kids.
We didn't know what we know now. Look, I talked to some guys who quit. CQ helped them do it. The 3 gradual steps. You step down, you dose. The doc says gradual's the way to go.
Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
It's a marriage meant to be.
A bride without a head.
A wolf without a foot!
They promise to love,
Animals!
honor, and cherish.
Snap out of it!
Till death do them part.
No matter what you do, you're gonna die.
If anyone objects to this marriage,
If I marry you, my mother will die.
What?
speak now
Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
or forever hold your peace.
Your life's going down the toilet!
Academy Award winners Nicolas Cage and Cher are moonstruck. Sunday at 5 on the WB11.
Scott Sanders, right-hander, out of the bullpen, and he'll take on Piazza. While he warms up, let's look back on this day, almost in history. Nancy Seaver's on the left. That guy with her is Tom. This was Tom Seaver Day at Shea Stadium, number retired, and the famous charge to the mound that fans still come up to Tom and talk about as he bowed to all of the fans, and there's the 41, not to be worn again by any Met player. 11 years ago tomorrow that happened, and our Hall of Famer Tom Seaver will be off for the Hall of Fame ceremonies this weekend in Cooperstown. We've been talking about.
Had a wonderful day. Sometimes you just count your blessings, you know. All my family was there. You got a chance and your very own just say thank you to everybody. I enjoyed every moment I was able to be out here for you, and I enjoyed it as much, hopefully, as you enjoyed watching. That's just very lucky in a special situation to be able to say that.
Runner goes, no throw. Cedeno will get his 52nd stolen base.
I don't know how smart a play that is. You've got 2 outs. Cedeno's going to score on anything. In a situation where a stolen base is a surprise to the opposition, it might also be a surprise to the hitter. And was that a good pitch for Mike Piazza to swing at? He looked like he was distracted.
0-1 delivery. Say, Tom, after Cedeno ran, Piazza stepped out of the batter's box, and
he didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
No, not a bit.
He did not. He did not like the fact, I don't think, that Cedeno ran. I think it bothered him. Here's the pitch. The runner's going.
You're exactly right. He was looking at the runner. Yep.
See, look at him. I mean, that is, he backed out, and he was like, what's he doing that for? 1 ball, 1 strike on Piazza. 2 down. Did he go? They want to check it first. Don't get an answer.
Phone's ringing, but no one home. You're calling me, I ain't answering.
I guess Larry Poncino shook his head. That doesn't help us up here to know what the call was. 2 ball, 1 strike count now. Piazza, runners at first and third, 2 down, 4-4 game, 7th inning. There's Cedeno. We may have a talk with Piazza later on, or vice versa. One of those quiet little, as I go by you, don't do that. Drug him out 5 times. Saunders has. 2-1 delivery. And a broken bat, base hit center field. And the Mets have a 5-4 lead on Mike Piazza's RBI single.
Yeah, the Mets have had their chances tonight. Kevin Tappity pitched like a bulldog to get out of a lot of situations, and here what happens? The broken bat drives in a go-ahead run. All the line drives that were hit right at somebody, and all of a sudden the bat splinters, and you take the lead.
64 runs batted in for Piazza. Ventura pops that one up. Manny Alexander, the shortstop, back and makes the play. But the Mets get one, and all will be charged to Tappity. Cedeno scores. Piazza gets the RBI. We go to the 8th inning. Mets up 5-4.
Hey, Buckman. Follow us. Come on.
Like I'm gonna fall for that old trick.
Not so good.
All 4 barricades, huh?
Competition brings out the best in the 300 horsepower Lincoln Navigator. And now, the smart money is taking advantage of year-end leases on Lincoln Navigator.
Il formaggio è troppo morbido. The cheese is too soft.
Il formaggio è troppo morbido. The cheese is too soft.
Ciao.
New York Lotto. Will you be ready if it happens to you?
Are you ready for big hits?
Show up at Shea on July 25th for a Sunday night game as the Mets battle Sammy Sosa and the Chicago Cubs. All adults will take home a Mets t-shirt made of 100% cotton, courtesy of Hip Health Plans.
Hey, this is a great t-shirt.
For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX. That's 718-507-TIXX.
Show up at Shea for t-shirt night, sponsored by Hip.
There's our Toyota line score tonight. The Mets now on top. First time they've had the lead. 5-9-0. All runs earned. Cubs 4-7-1. Had led it 3-0 in the first inning on Sammy Sosa's 3-run homer. Speaking of which, Mets got him right where they want him. Turk Wendell's on.
Turk Wendell, the workhorse in the National League. You see his numbers. It'll be Wendell here, and you would imagine Benitez in the ninth. If they can hold Chicago right where they are, they lead it 5-4, the Mets do. And Dennis Cook could win here. Dennis Cook, the Vulture would be 8-2, and there was talk in spring training about trading Dennis Cook, and he could be the winning pitcher here tonight. Would run a record to 8-2.
He has never won more than 8 games at the major league level. Eight's his high.
Sometimes the best trades you make are the ones that you do not make.
Boy, without him, where would they have been this year already?
Or this entire. Well, how about this guy here? Turk Wendell. If his arm doesn't fall off.
Keep on going.
Yeah, keep it running out there.
Sammy Sosa with a home run in the first inning. Mets, they've got to face him. Certainly like facing him leading off an inning. He is 2 for 2 without a home run off Turk Wendell in his career. 1-1 delivery to Sosa. Big cut foul back, a ball and 2 strikes. Sammy now with 35 home runs. The only other RBI, Hernandez got it on a single in the 6th inning for the Cubs. Wendell with a chance to strike out Sosa. To short, Ray Ordonez. Interesting what's kind of happened here tonight with the fans. When Sammy Sosa came up in the first inning, all of the fans who are here cheering Sosa really were rocking when he hit that home run. In his next 3 at-bats, the Mets fans have responded vociferously to the outs that Sosa has made, cheering the Met pitchers on. For the battle in the stands here tonight.
They come from behind. We'll do that for him. You'll see a shift.
Manny Alexander will get his first at-bat. Came on as a pinch runner when Rodriguez had to come out of the game, having hurt his ribs on a spectacular catch he made off Ray Ordonez back in the 5th inning. Alexander's hitting .301, and he takes the pitch from Turk Wendell down low.
Well, you can see the reaction there. Did not like that slider. Wendell's throwing well is a terrific slider. Breaks very late, right at the hitting zone. That's almost unhittable right there. And if you do hit it, there's not much you can do with it. Probably going to ground it on the, put it on the ground to the right side. Might be the best thing you can do with it.
Bent that one in over the inside corner. Ball and 2 strikes on Manny Alexander. Sosa may not get another at bat in this game. Fouled off. Ball and 2 strikes. Sammy with a home run in his first at bat. And 1 for 4 night. 3-run homer that for a while looked like it was going to be enough. Kevin Tapani, the pitcher, a record 6 1/3, 5 runs, 8 hits off him for the Cubs. Right field, Cedeno. 2 down. Jeff Reed, another break for the Mets, was getting Henry Rodriguez out of that lineup. Alexander hitting in his spot. I mean, that's home run power that's not there anymore for the Cubs with that bruised rib. Andy Alexander, good average, but nowhere near the power that Rodriguez has. Eric Wendell now with 2 down. Jeff Reed up. Reed had a single his last time up, 1 for 2 and a walk. Reed doing the catching, couple of home runs, 16 RBIs. That slider missed inside and low.
Sammy Sosa's been holding court down at the end of that Chicago Cubs dugout about that last at-bat, talking about the slider, and he went after the fastball up above the top of the strike zone. Kirk Wendell is on. You may not get a good pitch to hit, and if you do get it, you better not foul it off.
2-1 strike count to Reed, and that's a second. Edgardo Alfonso. So the Mets bullpen getting it done again. The Mets bullpen leading the National League in saves, second in ERA among bullpens in the league.
Tonight on the WB11 News, another emotional day for the Kennedys as they come together in Manhattan to say goodbye to John Kennedy Jr. and his wife. We will have complete coverage of today's memorial service. Then 5 men are charged with conducting a brutal reign of terror on Long Island.
A familiar face to New York baseball fans is coming back to the Big Apple. We'll have more on today's big Mets trade. And they're rocking in Rome, New York tonight as Woodstock 99 kicks off. The news at 10 coming up right after the game.
Resisted barbarians, overpowered savages, thwarted the uncivilized. And that was just on the drive to work. Chevy Blazer. Steel-reinforced double-wall doors, powerful Vortec engine. A little security in an insecure world. Chevy Blazer, like a rock.
What kind of rooms you got?
King size.
You got room service?
Donuts and coffee.
Got entertainment?
All rooms have every movie ever made in every language, anytime, day or night.
How is that possible?
Could your business use the bandwidth to change everything? Ride the light. Quest.
Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Now at Pep Boys, all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for only $99, and all 70,000-mile tires 4 for $169. Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us.
Mets are 15-12 in one-run games this year. Cubs 18-14. One-run ball game here. Let's look at our Jeep game summary. Sammy Sosa, first inning, 3-run homer, 35. For Benny Agbayani, a double and a big triple and a couple of RBIs off that 3-bagger. Piazza's 2 for 4. RBI single in the 7th, the go-ahead, and Alfonso, 2 for 4, now has a 13-game hit streak. Our Jeep game summary. And before we even get going here in the bottom of the 8th inning, we're going to get a pitching change. Saunders knew he wasn't going to throw here. Riggleman talked with him, but he wanted to put him back out there to see whether or not there'd be an announced pinch hitter for Brian McRae or not. There was not. Once that was clear that it wasn't going to happen.
You wonder why games take so long, right?
Amazing, huh? So Saunders is out of there, and Rod Beck comes out of the bullpen. This brought to you by 10-10-3-4-5.
This is the WB11, home of the New York Mets.
This is revolting.
What's the matter?
They're paying him for this.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Good? You can't even say the name of the product.
He can say it.
What are you talking about?
He's got a thick accent, you know,
Accent?
almost like European.
Hey, Ferret, let me hear you say Bud, nice and clear.
It sounded like Bud.
No, it sounded like...
I think your hearing's going, Louie.
Oh, right. Hey, Ferret, could you lay a little wise on us?
Smooth, like a pro.
Absolutely. What was I thinking?
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. Now the best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. New Lamisil AT. Strength. Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance. A study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in new Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
History-making moments happen at Madison Square Garden. Now you can own unforgettable Garden memories, from the fight of the century to the '73 Knicks championship, and the newest sensation, the Liberty. Limited editions to collect and treasure. Of course, they're authentic. They're Garden guaranteed. The Madison Square Garden Collection. Garden memories you can own forever. Call 201-784-9600 for more information.
30-year-old right-hander Rod Beck is back. He made a couple of rehab starts on the DL, then underwent surgery May 22 with a bone spur and chips coming out of that right elbow. Last appearance was on the 19th AAA at Fresno. Here he is, back at the majors.
Cleaning out that elbow, and that's why when he did go on the DL, the Cubs went out and got Rick Aguilera from the Minnesota Twins to shore up that bullpen, and he has not pitched that well for the Cubs. This guy has been their closer and their big man out of that bullpen.
It'll be just his 17th appearance of the year, facing Brian McRae, bottom of the 8th inning to lead it off. Beck last year just had a tremendous season in finishing games for this team. He was second in saves in the National League. This year, with the injury, it's been a whole lot different. And the pitch is taken down low. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Rod Beck, if he is healthy, may very well be trade material for the Chicago Cubs. Terry Adams is their closer of the future. 2-1. Aguilera is being used in a setup role. Whether or not he stays with the team remains to be seen. A lot will depend on how well Beck pitches here, concluding this year, and whether or not it looks as though he's got some more games left in him. It'll be Eddie Lynch's job as GM of the Chicago Cubs. McRae puts that one to center. Good one. 1 down.
One of the things, obviously, general managers try to do is to increase the value of their players so they can't trade them. If you look at Aguilera, who was traded over here to the Chicago Cubs, what he has done with Chicago, an earned run average of 6.46. But when they traded for Aguilera, when he was with Minnesota, he was 3-1 with 6 saves and a 1.2 earned run average. Where was his value going to be at highest? Right there. And they trade him off to a ball club that needed a closer, a club that thought they would be in the pennant race.
There's Rick Aguilera, who, of course, had great seasons here with the New York Mets, including their championship year, 1986. Aggie was a starter then, went on to Minnesota and had a fine relief career there, and now here in Chicago. Aggie and his wife moved back out with the family, back out to California, where they live now. Had lived in Minnesota for the last couple of years. And his status in Chicago right now a bit uncertain. Breaking ball, popped up, first base. Grace, long run, gets there. 2 down. Agbayani retired after coming up with that big triple, 2 RBIs in the 6th. 2 down here, Ray Ordonez.
And he just missed a pitch there. He did a double clutch, Agbayani did. Ball was up and out over the plate. A good pitch to hit to drive the opposite way. Watch him double clutch. Boom, stops and then starts it again. That big leg kick that Tom Robson was such a salesman for when he was the hitting coach here, and one of his disciples, Benny Agbayani, and there Armando Benitez, and he is ready to roll in the 9th. And
back to Ray Ordonez to center. Good one. And Ordonez is retired, and so are the Mets. We go to the 9th inning. Armando Benitez will come on in a save situation, bottom third of the order, due up.
Yeah, hi. I'm thinking about buying a large block of major building corporation. And what I'd like to know is, what's the size of the market right now? Take your time. Yep.
When you have an investment question, does your online brokerage have anybody there to answer it? We do.
We brought you the most innovative minivan in history, revolutionary cab-forward design, and the first pickup with 4 doors. Now, here's what's new for the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance, with exceptionally low lease rates. Generous cash allowances on select models. Not to mention extremely low financing. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
Long-distance fees apply.
I've heard that sound 100 times.
Morning. Greeting available only between the hours of 5 a.m. and 12 noon.
It could only mean one thing. This was a cellular town.
Zone A to B, B to C, C to D. From 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. on weekdays.
On fly with roaming charges.
I'm no hero. I'm just a guy with a better way.
The Sprint PCS Free and Clear plan. Now as little as a dime anytime with free long distance.
Looks like ET's going home. New York Mets baseball brought to you by your Toyota dealer. Visit us at drivatoyota.com. Real Refresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. General Motors, people in motion. E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online. And by 10-10-345, the simple way to save on long distance. Closed captioning is provided as a public service by 1-800-MATTRESS. Leave off the last S for savings. With our crew, Gary Thorne, Tom Seaver, under a beautiful moon here at Shea Stadium. We go to the 9th inning with the Mets a chance to pick up a 1-run win and another come-from-behind win. Melvin Mora comes in the ball game and left with Agbayani out of there, and the closer, Armando Benitez.
Armando, a workhorse, and you do not have to run up on it. As John Franco went down, that is a pretty good closure to fill in. What a luxury this club has to have a guy like Benitez when you've got your closer, John Franco, come up with an injury. Okay, we'll just use Armando Benitez. Wow.
Jose Hernandez wildly goes after it, 0-2. Franco, whether or not he gets back, of course, remains to be seen this season. That finger on his pitching hand still wrapped. Benitez, the 0-2 delivery. Just got a piece of that. Benitez, the #7 hitter, then Goodwin, and then the pitcher. Be due up. Don't mind being a pitching coach when you got kind of bullpen the Mets have been able to put up so far this year. There's Goodwin on deck.
You don't mind being a pitching coach, and if you're a hitter, you don't want to stick your nose out over that plate as hard as he throws.
1 down.
There is an intimidation factor to Armando Benitez. Hard, wild, in the sense of his delivery, not where it goes, but I mean the explosion that his body has as he throws the ball. You can see it. Let her fly. And 95 miles an hour up above the top of the strike zone, unhittable.
He is 8 for 12 in save opportunities this year, Armando Benitez is. He's got a chance for a 1 here. 1 down, 9th inning, Curtis Goodwin. There you see Atlanta leading in the second game of the doubleheader 2-1. Phillies won the first game. Bunted, and a bad one. Benitez. Riggleman and the Cubs down to their final chance. It'll be a pinch hitter coming up.
That's not a bad play if you can get the ball down. As hard as Benitez throws, and you could tell by the first swing that Goodwin had that he was totally overmatched. He says, yeah, maybe my best chance of getting on is getting it on the ground and use my speed for a base hit.
Glenn Allen Hill is the pinch hitter. So the pitcher, Rod Beck, came back and worked an inning off the long DL and retired all three he faced. 2 down, 9th inning. Mets lead at 5-4. Chance for another comeback win. Would be their 27th. They are 4th in the league and come from behind wins. Fastball right there. This is one of those nights where Armando Benitez looks almost untouchable. 1 strike count with 2 down. Just missed 1-1. Dennis Cook, the pitcher of record for the Mets, could get his 8th win, reaching his major league high in wins. Sosa had the home run, his 35th in the first inning. Right now, not enough. Glenn Allen Hill waiting right there, buckled his knees on it. Armando Benitez out of the Dominican Republic. One-two delivery. Cubs 3-game win streak on the line right here. Mets trying to win their 3rd in a row. One-two delivery in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Glenn Allen Hill. Sammy Sosa, of course, from the Dominican Republic. A lot of fans here early to watch batting practice, but it's a countryman right there on the mound.
And finishing with a man from Dominican on the mound is exactly right. What a show that would have been to finish it up. Benitez against Sosa. Wow.
Oh, yeah. One of these days, that'll happen.
Mano, power, and who would the fans pull for here at Shea Stadium? Probably 50-50.
2-2 delivery. 3-2. Benitez, of course, a very active man on the mound. Loves to jump around, gets excited, shows it, doesn't apologize for it, doesn't mean it to be demeaning towards the hitters. The natural exuberance he displays. 3-2, 2 down, 5-4 Mets. He's gone. Game's over. Strike him out.
Just as tough as it gets. That ball not even close to the strike zone, but he throws so hard you have to commit early. And Armando Benitez does it again.
Tonight's game to the Mets, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors.
Mike Piazza delivering the game-winning RBI. It came in the 7th inning, and the Mets win a 1-run affair, 5-4.
Clint Eastwood and Bernadette Peters are bad news for the bad guys. Pink Cadillac, tomorrow at 4 on the WB11.
Ford, built for the way you live.
As Sarah struggled with her report,
on the tall ships.
her dad had a choice to make.
hop on the internet, or hop into his Ford Expedition. Thanks to Expedition's power and versatility, Sarah was able to experience the tall ships firsthand and get more than she hoped for. And Dad, he saved a boatload thanks to great deals during the Ford authorized clearance, plus something extra special.
Thanks, Dad.
Hello, Mr. Peterson. Hello. So, do you have any questions before we get started?
Yeah. Do you think a computer with 500 megahertz and 128 megs of RAM is enough?
Well, let's do a little investigating, shall we?
Looking for technology information? There's really only one place to go, cnet.com.
Do you like RAM muffins?
Yeah.
They're twice as bright as halogen lights. They illuminate 70% more area for greater visibility and safety. In short, they're the closest thing to daylight since daylight. Revolutionary, new xenon lighting technology. One of the dozens of bright new ideas on the Infinity Q45.
New York Mets win it by a score of 5-4. Cook gets it 8-2. Tapani the loser. Benitez the save. Our GM turning point.
Benny Agbayani going deep to right field and right center. And the ball got by Curtis Goodwin. And the big blow in the ball game drove in a couple of runs. They got an extra chance in that inning. And the Mets capitalized. They win it by a run.
So the Mets win the opener of this series 5-4. Our final next game on the WB11 will be the Cubs from Wrigley Field. Next Friday, July 30, will be on at 3 o'clock. Sammy Sosa, first inning home run, is 35th. That ignited the crowd. But the Mets continuing to use their defense and a very strong bullpen, along with a couple of mistakes and a Benny Agbayani hit, and they put this ball game away. Stay tuned for the WB11 News at 10, followed by Seinfeld. That's coming up at 11 o'clock. Now let's go back to our WB11 studios in Manhattan. WB11 News, Katie Tong and Jim Watkins.
Thank you, Gary. Our top story tonight, brought together again by tragedy, the Kennedy and Bissett families gather in an Upper East Side church to celebrate the lives of John and Carolyn.
Live from the New York studios of the WB11, Katie Tong, Jim Watkins, Sal Marciano with sports, and Mr. G with the weather. This is the WB11 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. From the first day of his life, John seemed to belong not only to our family, but to the American family.
Those are the words of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s uncle. Senator Ted Kennedy gave the eulogy today at a private memorial service for John Jr. and his wife, Carolyn. The senator, who became a surrogate father to John, spoke of his beloved nephew to invited mourners who ranged from President Clinton to Muhammad Ali. Mary Murphy is live outside the St. Thomas More Church, where today's memorial was held. Mary?
Heidi, it was a week ago tonight that John Kennedy's plane went down in the waters off Martha's Vineyard. Kennedy was killed along with his wife Carolyn and her sister Lauren. Today's memorial focused on husband and wife and John's place in history. They remembered him in the church of his boyhood, a sister who has lost the last precious member of her nuclear family. A president.
Majority of the times we're not saving lives with an antiviral medication, but we are getting people back to work quicker.
And the pill promises to knock those over-the-counter types that treat only the symptoms, not the cause, off the shelf, even those zinc lozenges.
Those things obviously have not worked because people are still going to their physicians seeking care for this disease.
Flecaneril still needs to undergo more studies, outside reviews, and ultimately FDA approval. Dr. Laura Fisher specializes in internal medicine in New York, and she says the proof will be in the paper.
It sounds good for now, but this is preliminary data. I would be optimistic, but not too excited. I would wait till there were subsequent studies. until an outside review group came out and said, yes, it looks like it is safe, it looks like it is effective, it looks like it is worth buying and taking.
Pleconaryl is one of 3 drugs being tested against the cold, and the makers of Pleconaryl hope to have approval and have it out on the market by the year 2001. Reporting from the newsroom, Cynthia Santana, Fox 5 News. John, Rosanna?
All right, thank you, Cynthia. Still to come, if you take the subway, your ride's about to change.
Also ahead, fun in the sun. Hillary meets Baywatch. Plus, we have this.
I love you, and I want to have this child with you. And if you're mad at me, just call somebody so that we know that you're okay.
Vanished without a trace. Have you seen this woman? Not only is she missing, she's also pregnant. That's next on this late edition of the Fox 5 10 o'clock news.
We brought you Dodge Caravan, the most innovative minivan in history, the best-selling minivan in history, and the most copied minivan in history. Now here's what's new from the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance with a $1,000 cash allowance on Caravan that lowers your price to just $17,785. Or buy Caravan with low 1.9 financing. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
Congo, the new gorilla forest, now at the Bronx Zoo.
A transmission problem. That's not what you'd wanted, but when your local AMCO dealer fixes it, he can back it coast to coast with the best warranty and coverage in the business. 1 year unlimited mileage, 3 year 50,000 mile, or lifetime. So what does the offer of an AMCO lifetime warranty mean? It means the experts at AMCO stand behind their work. Not just for today, but for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GO-AMCO, AA-MCO.
Yeah, it's a great shot for the cover. I don't see why not.
No, I'm fine.
Right.
Need some real work lights? Everything to create the right workspace at the IKEA Work at Home event.
Dear Sir, or Madman?
Madam. Recycling bins, and everything it takes to succeed at the IKEA Work at Home event.
If you strive for perfection, but do it without heart, your work will have no soul. If you embrace technology, but do it blindly, you may find less freedom, not more. If you drive one of the best cars, but think it could be better, you're not driving an RL from Acura.
Well, the police on Long Island have one answer to a key question in the disappearance of a pregnant woman.
But it's just led to still another question. The woman disappeared Saturday night and made a call on her cell phone. We now know it was to check phone messages at work, but no one knows what those messages said. She was last seen in Plainview, Long Island. That's where Mike Sheehan starts.
But I love you, and I want to have this child with you. And if you're mad at me, just call somebody so that we know that you're okay.
Eve Brown vanished without a trace. The 29-year-old psychologist who is 5 months pregnant was last seen Saturday evening as she drove down her driveway in Plainview in a 1994 black Geo Prism. She told her husband she was going to visit a friend in Freeport, about 20 minutes away. But cops say the friend wasn't even in the country at the time. Throughout the night, her worried husband tried repeatedly to reach her with no success. By the time it was morning, he decided to call the police.
It's absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, there's been no activity on the credit card, the ATM, the Easy Pass, and the one clue that we had, we finally got to figure out the cell phone number was a call to her office that she made shortly after she left 7:40 Saturday night.
The couple, who know each other for 13 years and are happily married for the last 5, just moved into a new home and spent Saturday at the Mets-Yankee game.
She's a caring, loving person who helps people, and we need her here. Please let her go.
If you've seen her, and if you know where she is, and you're not calling or telling us, just please do the right thing and bring her back to us.
If you have any information on the whereabouts of Eve Brown, please call the police at 1-800-244-TIPS. All calls will be kept confidential. From Plainview, Long Island, Mike Sheehan, Fox 5 News.
Well, Congress is debating an HMO reform bill, a so-called Patient's Bill of Rights, and the debate's getting hot.
The insurance companies want freedom from accountability. That's what they want. Freedom to undermine good quality health care for children, for women who have cancer, for the disabled.
Well, despite what Senator Kennedy says, the Republicans have the votes, and the Democratic version would give doctors the final say on medical care. Republicans say there is no need for the federal government to regulate plans that are already regulated by the states. President Clinton is threatening to veto the Republican bill if it passes.
Hillary Clinton's listening tour rolled into our area. The all-but-announced candidate for U.S. Senate is spending more and more time here. Christopher Jones was with the First Lady.
She still has made no official announcement, but if you're betting against Hillary Rodham Clinton running for the Senate from New York, there's this bridge to Brooklyn you may want to buy.
One of the big questions that we're asking ourselves right now in society is, are we doing everything we need to do for our kids? And are we spending enough time with them?
Maybe not if we're running for Senate. As part of her non-campaign, the First Lady is continuing her so-called listening tour of New York to find out what the people in the state she intends to call home are thinking. Of course, if you listen, that gives you an opportunity to talk back. She did just that today at Westchester Community College, here responding to a local entrepreneur's concerns about adequate vocational training.
We need to start showing more respect toward vocational work, toward non-academic college training, and we need to do more to create the environment in which those options are available to young people.
If politicians need to learn to at least appear to be listening, the First Lady could give lessons. This college student was convinced she listened to him.
I was very impressed by that. I've seen politicians listen, but not really listen, and I felt that she listened.
After listening to Kevin in Westchester, Mrs. Clinton went to Jones Beach to listen to supporters there. And Wednesday is scheduled to listen again at other locations on Long Island. She has billed it as a listening tour, but in listening, Hillary Rodham Clinton has shown you can say a lot. Christopher Jones, Fox 5 News.
Well, the subways are getting a new look. A whole bunch of new trains are on the way. Maybe by next year, they'll have more comfortable seats, we're told, better lights. And they tell us a public address system that actually works. I'll believe that one when I see it. Transit authorities not saying where exactly they'll be rolling, but the number 7 line is some of the oldest cars in the fleet, so they would be good candidates for an immediate replacement.
Well, the NYPD gets taken for a ride, and a rap star hopes to replace some shoes in your closet in a New York Minute. Some of New York's finest traded their cruisers for bumper cars. The police department held their annual Anchor Club outing at Astroland. Each year, the families of deceased officers are invited to a free day of fun at the Coney Island Park. The Parks Department got some helping hands. 65 high school kids took a pledge to keep the city green. They'll be working this summer on projects like trail building and soil erosion control. First assignment, planting a tree. The American Craft Museum unveiled a new exhibit, Diplomatic Brooches. The pins were made especially for Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. She is well known for wearing brooches that send political messages. The MTA introduced talking kiosks at Penn Station. They were designed to help those who were blind and visually impaired. The kiosks talk and can give directions to almost anywhere at the station. These booths were made for walk-in, and they were designed by hip-hop superstar Busta Rhymes. He launched his new shoe collection in Midtown.
This New York Minute is brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet. Coming up, our all-star coverage isn't over. Kurt's at Fenway with the highlights and the stars themselves. Plus, did Brandy know she was starting a trend? Now everybody wants the Brandy bra. And it's not just books anymore. Find out what they're selling now at Amazon.com. That's next on the Fox 5 10 o'clock news.
First, Europe's most coveted design award. Now, honored as the highest quality luxury sedan in America. The Volvo S80. My goodness.
We're watching you all.
folks want a boy or a girl? Well, I know he wants a boy.
I love girls. Ballet classes. Frilly dresses.
You'd be a great dad.
I could still play soccer with her, you know.
Would you like to know what it is?
It really doesn't matter to me.
PSEG. We make things work for you.
I was just expecting to pay off some credit card bills. All of a sudden, I'm being asked what my goals and dreams are.
If you're a homeowner and you call 1-800-CHAMPION for a Pay Down Your Debt program, we're going to show you some possibilities.
I was given this plan that shows me which bills to pay off with the most savings, how I can use the extra savings to buy a new car, renovate my kitchen, pay off my home sooner.
We call it our possibilities profile.
It's impressive.
Shouldn't you know all your possibilities? When your bank says no, Champion says yes.
Looking for an action-packed day of family fun? Here's what families are saying about the Land of Make-Believe.
I think they have something for everybody here at the Land of Make-Believe. I came here when I was a kid. Wanted to bring her back. Pay one price to get to go on all the rides. It's open all day long.
Great place to come to bring the kids.
Very family-oriented and nice and clean and fun.
New Jersey and families are perfect together, and the Land of Make-Believe and families and hope are perfect together.
For a perfect day of family fun, it's the Land of Make-Believe, just minutes away in Hope, New Jersey.
We brought you the compact pickup ranked best in initial quality. The next Neon with a lot more to love and sophisticated technology you can afford. Now, here's what's new for the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance with exceptionally low lease rates, generous cash allowances on select models, or extremely low financing. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
Environmentalists are taking aim at SUVs which don't have to conform to the same air quality standards as regular cars. They claim they've come up with a new way to make SUVs produce less pollution. The scientists took a Ford Explorer and put in a high efficiency engine, and then also optimized transmission and streamlined the body. It got better gas mileage with less pollution. It cost a little more, but the researchers say the better fuel efficiency balanced things out. Internet giant Amazon.com wants to get even bigger. The online superstore says they will now sell toys and electronics. They plan on working with big names like Mattel and Panasonic. The company has been expanding over the last 4 years. They have 10 million customers, but have yet to see any profit.
Well, Wall Street took something of a hit today. There's a little bit of a concern about Latin America and their economic recovery. Dow was down about 26 points. Losing stocks beat the winners on the big board by a margin of 4-3. Price per share was down 15 cents. NASDAQ was down over 12 points. And it's Wednesday in Tokyo, as it is here actually now. In the early trading there, the Nikkei is up 60 points. I want to clarify something that we told you about last night concerning the story involving credit card fraud by waiters at some restaurants in Manhattan. We showed you the wrong restaurant. Nobody at the Coco Pazzo on East 74th Street was involved in credit card fraud. The investigation involves a different restaurant, but it's owned by the same company.
Well, they're America's Golden Girls. Do you get that? It's a little late, but try to figure it. Golden.
You mean the Suka Mamas? The Soccer Mamas?
The Soccer Mamas.
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
about the gold thing. Hey, but it looks like one of them in particular may have started something. Nick?
Well, we were hoping for some rain here. We didn't quite get it today. It's very close, though, moving up across the Carolinas. Will we get any in this forecast? Oh, it's going to be a tough call, and the heat is coming back. Stay awake. Coming back with a 5-day forecast in just a sec. First, check out the new Dodge Tri-State Commuter forecast for tomorrow.
Tonight's Tri-State Commuter Forecast brought to you by the new Dodge. It's about change.
I have an exciting medical announcement. Monistat, the brand we trust, has a one-dose yeast infection treatment. Monistat 1 is so effective, just one treatment cures a yeast infection. Absolutely nothing works faster. Doctors know the one dose keeps working for days for an effective cure. And it's the only one-dose treatment with the name doctors recommend most. Monistat 1. One dose from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
Oops! I'll get a brawny paper towel. Oh, don't waste brawny. Bounty'll do. What kind of a mess do you use brawny for? this kind?
Brawny paper towels, 10 more feet per roll than Bounty, holds up to 19 pounds per sheet, and holds sloppy messes better than Bounty can.
So that's a brawny kind of mess.
Got a brawny mess? Get a brawny paper towel.
Professor Barrows, you gonna ask something? I'm a little confused. Would I be better off upgrading to an external 56K modem, or should I go for DSL?
Here, Russell, nature has a way of giving us all the answers we are looking for.
Looking for technology information? There's really only one place to go, cnet.com.
Open your mind, Russ.
The most powerful name in news, Fox News Channel. On cable 24 hours a day. News in the Fox style. Fox News Channel. We report, you decide.
First, Europe's most coveted design award. Now, honored as the highest quality luxury sedan in America. The Volvo S80. My goodness.
Dennis Quaid. I will rid the world of every last one of you. Sean Connery. I am the last one. In the epic adventure of a dragon slayer who waged a war to save the world's last dragon. My time is over. A special Fox Wednesday movie, Dragonheart.
Tomorrow at 8 on Fox 5. Well, thousands of people turned up in Midtown to congratulate America's soccer mamas. They made their way to 56th Street off Park Avenue for a victory rally. One team member has had quite an impact on fans and on Nike. Brandy Chastain. She kicked the winning goal that won the cup, and then afterward, she took off her shirt and celebrated in her sports bra. Now Nike is going to put out a whole line of them.
Well, there was a lot of issues that, as a soccer player, we were definitely concerned about regarding jog bras. And one is support, 2 is moisture control, 3 is comfort. And all those issues, if something is not right with one of those issues, then it draws attention away from what you should be focusing on.
They'll be in stores by the end of the month. They'll cost about $40, we're told.
When you're hot, I guess. And they just
I guess so.
I guess so.
Why don't you just go ahead, Nick, with the weather, and we'll just look at this direction.
My transition was going to be support, comfort, moisture control. Sounds a lot like the weather, doesn't it? Yes, it does. And Rosanna, you just stay with us just about another 15 minutes to go. Okay, we'll send you off to bed. All right, let's check out New York City today. And I should say yesterday, because now it is Wednesday morning. And it's definitely been a forecast that turned out a lot nicer than we thought it was going to be. But you like it when it's that way, right? Except, of course, we're in this drought situation. We really could use the rain. 78 and 63, the high and the low, so those numbers a little below average. Just a teeny bit of rain early this morning. 101, the record high in 1966, and 54, we're back in 1888. Mostly clear now, 65. Humidity's up there just a little bit. The wind is calm, and the pressure is kind of just hanging at 30.22. One place where they've had a lot of rain still is across the west. California, Arizona, up through Nevada. Some showers and heavier thunderstorms, and that's going to stay out there as well. Then the heat's building in the Plain States back into the 90s, most spots. That'll eventually be working our way. And this front is stuck off to our south, bringing more rain to the southeast where they don't really need it anymore. But the rain just kind of gets pushed off sea. And when we end up with just some sunshine and some clouds, and again, that little bit of rain that really brushed across eastern Long Island earlier this morning and the Jersey Shore. And now temperatures are kind of cool. Look at this. You get north and west, 56 at Danbury. That's refreshing. 60 out at LaGuardia. That's not so bad either. 62 at Newark right now. And we have even a couple of readings in the upper 50s as you get out to the east end of the island. So the forecast weatherman for tomorrow, still this little battle going on. High pressure here in eastern New England. The front hanging just off to the south. We're kind of sandwiched in the middle here. So a combination of sun and clouds. The rain should stay off to our south, unfortunately, again, because we really do need to see that rain. But what will happen is that front sort of just meanders again off the mid-Atlantic coast as we head into Thursday. The high will eventually build back in, and the warmer weather now is starting to move back up in our direction, so it's likely to get into the low 80s here on Thursday. And look what snuck in as well. The hot air now moving down from Iowa and parts of Illinois, and that's going to be sliding in for the upcoming weekend. So it looks like a dry spell of weather coming up as the humidity goes back up and the temperature goes back up probably to at least 90 degrees by the time we, if not get to Friday, certainly by Saturday on into Sunday. So you might want to think about heading to the beach this upcoming weekend. Looks like a good one to do that. Tomorrow, well, winds out of the northeast to east at about 10 to 15 knots. about 2 to 4 foot seas on the ocean, 1 to 2 foot seas on the sound. Water's holding pretty much in the mid and upper 60s in most spots. All right, here's my forecast for New York City and the tri-state area. Overnight, we'll just keep some clouds scattered about. 63, the low in town, so that's pretty comfortable. And you saw those 50s in the suburbs. Then for tomorrow, a pretty decent day. A few more clouds, I think, than we've had across the area today. You saw some of those clouds sneaking up on the satellite photographs. So sort of a combination of sun and clouds. We'll hit 73 by lunchtime. 78 is the high. Sunset now, starting a little bit earlier at 8:27, but still should be a pretty nice evening as well. Pretty nice 5-day forecast, just that we are heating things up. Starting up to 83 on Thursday, it's going to get a bit more humid as well, with sunshine and some clouds. 88 or so Friday, and then we hit that 90-degree mark or better Saturday and Sunday. No chance for rain, which is good, but...
No, it's not good.
Well, it's good for the weekend planners, but it's bad for us.
Yeah, we need that rain. All right, thanks, Dick. Kurt's coming back with all the All-Star action for you.
Stay with us.
The news brought to you by Hip Health Plan of New York. So where do you get your health care?
Yes, my doctor's in here. My company just switched to HIP, and I thought I was going to have to switch doctors, but he's in the book.
No, with HIP, you have to go to Centers.
No, they have physicians in private practice. Check Dr. Sherwin on FIP. Got him.
Dr. Green in Scarsdale? My wife loves him.
Got him.
You got to go to Centers. Will you listen to me, please?
No, they have doctors in private practice. Dr. Elliott in Garden City. Got him.
My kid's pediatrician, Dr. Young in Mary.
Tuckman. Dr. Tuckman. Try and find that guy.
Got him.
Let me say he's my doctor.
I'm sitting across from a person who's getting ready to write a large sum of money for an automobile, and I've purchased vehicles before, and I know exactly what they're going through. It can be nerve-wracking. The no-hassle, no-haggle price allows Saturn to be so much at ease with the customer and allows us to treat everyone so fair. It really doesn't matter whether you do a short-term lease, a long-term lease, short-term financing, long-term financing, or cash. Once you're in the Saturn family, you're in the Saturn family. I am going to see this person again. You see him at the supermarket, you see him in a restaurant, so we want to make sure they are completely comfortable with the entire process.
Try a delicious breakfast sampler today and pick up Six Flags Great Adventure Buy One, Get One Free coupons.
Anytime's a good time for breakfast at IHOP.
It's here. It's real. A way to combine voice, video, data, and internet we call Sprint Ion. Integrated on-demand network.
Can we see it from the south side?
Sure.
Great job.
But it's not just about how Sprint Ion will help you bring products and services to market faster. It's about facing your stockholders with a smile. Isn't that the point of contact?
We brought you Dodge Caravan, the most innovative minivan in history, the best-selling minivan in history, and the most copied minivan in history. Now here's what's new from the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance with a $1,000 cash allowance on Caravan that lowers your price to just $17,785. Or buy Caravan with low 1.9 financing. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
All right, let's go back to Boston. Back to Kurt. Kurt?
Well, you know, it was a fantastic night here at Fenway Park, but not so much because of the ball game itself. It's what happened around the ball game that got everyone excited, although it did have quite the fantastic start, starting with the very first inning when pitcher Pedro Martinez, who was the MVP of the game from the Boston Red Sox, well, he came up, struck out the side in the top of the first, and then in the top of the second, got Mark McGwire to become the first man ever to strike out the first 4 batters. As for New Yorkers, well, David Cone struck out Mike Piazza to lead off the third, but in the fourth, Piazza gets his revenge. The single to right with 2 on and 2 out helped the National League score their only run of the ball game. An emotional moment, though, as Yankee shortstop Derek Jeter came in to replace Nomar Garcia-Parra. Hugs all around there, and a standing O for the hometown Garcia-Parra as he left the game in the 4th inning. American League up 4-1 in the 9th. Ex-Yankee John Wetland gets ex-Met Jeff Kent on a 1-6-3 double play to end the game. Yankee manager Joe Torre gets the victory. 4-1 American League, the final A lot of New York flavor in this one, but the pitcher from Beantown was the tastiest.
When he's coming out of my dugout, I love it, and he's frustrating when it's in the other dugout. But they had quality, too. We were just lucky to jump on Schilling early and get that lead, and then we're able to hold on to it. It's, you know, the way Pedro had his stuff tonight is like trying to hit against him in a dark room. It's very, very tough to do, and you sort of neutralize the good hitting.
Was it ironic that the first guy you faced was David Cone?
Yeah, I was glad I got a hit off because he's tough. So, I mean, it was definitely... he's a tough customer. I mean, he's made some good pitches on me first at bat, but I hung in there, and like I said, I was happy. It was definitely a proud game for me.
Now, even the players admitted what happened during the game was secondary to what happened before. Major League Baseball honored the 100 greatest players of the century. Rickey Henderson of the Mets, Roger Clemens of the Yankees on that team, along with ex-Yankees like Reggie Jackson and ex-Met Tom Seaver. But everyone fell in love with the man who was the star of this pregame ceremony, Ted Williams. They call him the greatest hitter probably of all time. The 80-year-old Ted Williams brought the house down when he came onto the field. Thunderous applause from the players and the fans. The reaction from the players, totally unscripted, as they went and surrounded him and talked baseball with him. An emotional night for everyone here in Fenway Park.
And when I got up there, tears were coming out of Ted's eyes, and I kind of turned away. I couldn't look at it. It almost brought tears to my eyes. You know, the greatest hitter the game's seen is getting surrounded by more great hitters and players, and emotionally, it was just outstanding.
You know, when you have a chance to meet probably one of the best hitters of the game, and you see tears running down his eyes for the appreciation that the fans and all of us gave him. It's quite a special time, and I mean, I'm just happy he knows who I am, and he talked to me.
I thought it was really nice the way everybody just kind of surrounded him, and it was kind of funny when they announced, you know, can people please go to their dugout? Everybody said no. Nobody wanted to leave.
I don't think the fans wanted it to end. I don't think anyone wanted it to end. Not only was Ted Williams there, but Hank Aaron, Lou Brock, the Mets, Ralph Kiner, Mets announcer Ralph Kiner. I mean, it was absolutely one of the more special moments, maybe in the history of Major League Baseball, but certainly in the televised history of Major League Baseball. And while a lot of people will take great memories away from the pregame ceremony, one player decided to take more than just memories away from this game here in Boston.
It's Fenway Park. You know, this is probably the only chance I'll ever have to play here unless it's postseason, and who knows how long this ballpark's going to be around. So, in fact, I hope the ground crew doesn't get too mad because I tore this piece of grass up from right field. And I'm taking this baby home with me, put it in the bag, and I'm going to have it forever and say that I played at right field at Fenway Park, and it's something I'll never forget.
And I don't think many people will ever forget this ball game here at Fenway Park. All-Star Game 99, the last of this century, being played in one of the great old ballparks in Major League Baseball. It may not be around much longer. There's a push on here in Boston to try and get a new ballpark built, but too many people love this. A lot of the players and a lot of the managers and everyone saying, please don't let it go. Well, we have to go. We'll see you tomorrow night back from the studio. Johnny Rosanna.
All righty. Thank you, Kurt. Well, finally, you know, I'm not one to complain.
Really?
But I'm not Rosanna, but if I lived in Salt Lake City, I'd move. They have outlawed cruising back there. You know, when you just drive up and down the strip and try to look cool. Ever do that when you were a teenager? Well, now, if you drive up and down the main drag in Salt Lake City more than 3 times, they'll arrest you. No cruising, but polygamy, that's okay.
I understand.
I don't get it. That's our report for tonight. I'm John Muller.
And I'm Rosanna Scotto. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to tune into Good Day New York, beginning with the news at 5:30.
Good night.
Taxi! Stop! Hey, somebody call 911! Hey, is this your truck?
Yeah.
Come on. Get a Toyota Tacoma 4x4. You can't get a more powerful V6, and with up to $1,300 in option package discounts, it's a steal. So's the Tacoma 4x2, rated best overall value of the year. You okay? I'm good, but officer, is that your car? Yeah. Come on.
Oops. I'll get a brawny paper towel. Oh, don't waste brawny. Bounty'll do. What kind of a mess do you use brawny for? This kind.
Brawny paper towels, 10 more feet per roll than Bounty, holds up to 19 pounds per sheet, and hold sloppy messes better than Bounty can.
So that's a brawny kind of mess.
Got a brawny mess? Get a brawny paper towel.
The new Saturn Coupe has better pickup than a Maserati. After a Little League game, anyway. The world's first three-door coupe from Saturn. Why didn't anyone think of this before?